Hello, hello, all. Happy New Year's. Welcome 2026. My goodness, 2025 really feels like it went by in a blink of an eye. Does anyone else feel like that, or is that just me? So much happened this year, don't get me wrong, but when I think back about how this year feels in terms of like a time passing sense, it really just absolutely sprinted by. But I'm not complaining. It was a very, very good year. I mean, it's the year I became Rainier Paragonic, if nothing else. And this was definitely a year of growth, both, well, definitely spiritual. Let's get out ahead of that one. But also a year of growth in a I mean, I guess it all kind of comes back to spiritual growth if I'm thinking about it, as as most things do. But I got much better at managing my time, managing my choking on this concept. Choking as I start stream here. My goodness. I got much better at realizing, there we go. I got much better at finding how much time I was leaving on the table. That's a good way of putting it. I am able to get much more done in what feels like much less time because I realized that a lot of my quote-unquote busyness that was actually just an excuse for laziness. Well, maybe not laziness, but just not moving things forward, not accomplishing what needed to be, not necessarily needed to be accomplished, but what could be accomplished. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Other things to ramble about as I wait for folks to shuffle on in. Ooh, I received a Christmas gift. I was hanging out with a couple friends for New Year's celebration, and I received a Christmas gift from one of them, given that I was out of town over Christmas, and I was gifted an anthology of. Oh man, hang on, let me grab it real quick. So I know what I'm talking about. An anthology of 4 C.S. Lewis books in one: Surprised by Joy, Reflections on the Psalms, The Four Loves, and The Business of Heaven, all in one very nice hardcover book. I don't know if you can hear that, but that's me rapping on the cover of that book, as well as just a very nice hardcover of Mere Christianity. When was this Mere Christianity put into print? I'm very curious, because it looks decently old. Come on, where's the copyright page? 1952? My goodness. Is that right? Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, so I've got a 1952 Mere Christianity now, and boy, howdy, I like it a lot. It was a good gift. Okay, but before... Well, let's see. How do I want to sequence things? I promised some vacation pictures, and actually I did promise those for what would have been last Saturday, but due to a technical failing of a USB cable, I did not have them, so I just want to kind of go ahead and bring those up right now. So let's look at vacation picture number 1. This cactus, I was in Sedona, Arizona, which is absolutely just saguaro cactus country, and everywhere you look, there's cacti. But this cactus was my favorite cactus, because this cactus is throwing hands, man. I don't know what this cactus is doing. I don't know what causes a cactus to grow like this, but this cactus was my favorite cactus, and I have not only this picture, but pictures of me as well in front of this cactus. This cactus and I are friends. I need to name this cactus, I think. I'll ruminate on it. I will ruminate on it. But this cactus certainly needs a name, and it needs to be a well thought out name. Absolutely. Okay, next picture. Goodbye, cactus. I will find it. You have my word, cactus. I will find a name for you. All right, this is on the way up. Mount Lemon is the name of the mountain. Believe it gets to an elevation of somewhere between 8,000 and 9,000 feet. Well, you know, I have the sum of all human knowledge at my fingertips here. Mount Lemon height gets to an elevation of 9,170 feet. So pretty tall. And this is on the way up. You can see there is some unfolding roadway beneath there that is previous. And just when one thinks of Arizona, one does not often think, at least I had not thought about mountainous terrain necessarily, but Arizona is on the southern tip. Well, not the southern tip. Arizona is where the Rocky Mountains go through as they go into Mexico. So in certain portions of Arizona, hello, Elijah. Welcome to stream. We're just going through, we are going through some vacation pictures right now. This is, actually, sorry, let me show you my friend first. This cactus is my friend. This cactus is my favorite cactus. I don't know what inspired him to grow like this, but I love him, and I need to name him. I have some pictures of me with this cactus that I'm obviously not going to show on stream, but this cactus, it's something about just, it is almost as though he is shrugging. Yeah, right? He is shrugging or he is lifting something up, and then he's just got an additional pair of arms that I'm not going to worry about right now. Yes. This is Mount Lemon. This is on the way up. I believe I took this out of a car window. This mountain gets about 9,000 feet tall, give or take, and you can absolutely feel that elevation change as you are winding up the rather precarious roadways. Not something you'd want to be driving in. But yes, I was going on a rant about how... Not a rant. I had never really thought of Arizona as mountain country until this most recent vacation, but boy, it is mountains everywhere, and there's just cactuses on those mountains. Actually, as you're going up this mountain, the biomes are changing. Like, you go from a desert at base level, and as you get higher, you are having more and more vegetation, because as you get higher, during the winter, you get snow up there, and that melts and allows for things like bigger trees, which is just fantastic. It is, oh man, so fun to think about. But this is on the way up Mount Lemon. This is before sunset. But now we get to the picture the picture I ran across a landscape in sandals to get. So this is probably a good 7,000 feet up the mountain. It was during sunset. There was a power line running along the mountain, which was ruining my pictures of the sunset. So, like the crazy person I am, in my flip-flops, on very, very loose soil, I might add, I effectively ran to chase the setting sun. And, I mean, you can tell me, but I think it was worth it. This is probably it is not, I think, the best picture I took on this vacation, but it is my favorite picture because of the work I put in to catch it. I love the rays of the sun, the orange just spilling out to the left and to the bottom of the sunset there. I love how they kind of come out in front of that tree, despite the fact... Yeah, God's creation is so cool. The beauty, the unparalleled beauty that we see in the natural world around us is just so fantastic to see. And every time I catch something like this, it just takes my breath away that I get to live in this. That I get to catch things like a sunset, catch things like a full moon illuminating the night sky, look up and see the stars, but look down and just see, I mean, look at a desert, and even in this barrenness, see this greenness out here, see it speckled with all of these cacti, like my new best friend cacti. It's just so, I don't know how people look at the natural world, see the beauty, and are either not stirred by it or are stirred by it, yet hold the belief that it's all an accident. That is a little crazy to me, personally. But speaking of the unparalleled beauty of the natural world, let's catch, this is a picture I took just post-sunset. Looking out over, well, that would be the, hey! That is a JB alias, correct? How's it going? Welcome to stream. But yes, this is looking out right about after, this is a good 20 minutes past sunset. Yeah, no, I can, absolutely not. God, it is so difficult to disbelieve in God when we have what we have. But, yeah, this one's not my favorite because I didn't put in nearly as much effort to get it, but boy howdy, this is a... I need to use this for some... Maybe this is a stream background or something. I don't know. But just the blaze of orange about the... You can catch the crescent moon there. The city lights, even. Like, the tamed civilization out in the desert that gets to witness this beauty. Oh my goodness gracious. This trip really reinvigorated it reinvigorated parts of my sense of beauty, senses of wonder, and just my willingness to engage with the natural world as... Not necessarily as an apologetic, because... but just as something that reminds me, day in and day out, of the glory of God, right? Of the wonders of his creation, of the fact that there's a mind behind it all. And it's a mind that loves beauty just as much, well, probably more than we do. Yeah. So there's some vacation photos, and there's some bloviating on vacation photos. It was a nice chance to reset. It was a nice chance to get, to really rest, to take a step back, and to, get back in touch with the things that I find wonderful. And, like, hey, every time I get on an airplane, and it doesn't really clock to me until I'm sitting on the airplane and looking out the window. I'm flying through the sky in a big chunk of metal that, like, I understand partially the principles that make it fly, but it's still crazy. It's still crazy what human beings are able to do when they engage with the rationality of the world around them. Like, in what world where things don't make sense, where things aren't ordered, do we make airplanes? I don't think that happens. Yeah. Alright. But that, you guys don't need me to tell you that that the world is ordered and the world makes sense because God made it. That's, I don't know. One might say that is readily apparent. One might say the heavens and the earth declare the glory of God. But I'll digress from that chain of thought. How was everyone's holidays? How is everyone feeling on this first day of the new year? I am very excited for 2026. Not that I have any massive plans or anything, but inspiration tends to strike when I am staying creatively engaged, and being Rainai is a way that forces me to stay creatively engaged. So I feel like there are going to be some... I don't want to make weird, like, vague promises or anything, but I have some ideas. I have some things I want to develop, but I am definitely focused this year. I think most of my... I have to go back through my journal. That would have been good stream content, but it's dark and I don't want to do my lighting setup right now. Still learning Gershwin. Hey, there you go. Absolutely. Yeah, got a lot. I think, hey, Long Rider, I think I think that pretty much sums up what I'm going for. I have a lot I want to do, and I know I have the means to keep myself engaged and to keep moving forward, and I'm going to leave it up to God, leave it up to the Lord to see what strikes and what precisely gets tackled and in what order. Fire. You're also a... I think I'm... Thank you for the follow, Mops Zax. Welcome in. How'd you find the stream, out of curiosity? Yeah. I think I might want to get to know you a little better before we start running games, but, potentially. Absolutely. So, where were we? Games843 is a fascinating Discord handle, by the way. Yeah. Yeah. So that's a good chunk of that, I believe. You don't say. I have a sneaking suspicion as well, my friend, but, you know, maybe not. Sorry, I was being maybe just a little bit facetious there, and I maybe shouldn't do that. That's something I should maybe work on. But yeah, it can be hard to say, and I always want to give people the benefit of the doubt, and if I can do that being a little facetious, maybe I'll just get away with it sometimes. Who knows? Anyway, yes. And also, if you're not a bot, I'd love to know how you found the stream, and I'd love to maybe develop a more engaged relationship with you. But to do that, I would like you to chat in the stream chat here before I add you as a friend on Discord, friend. There you go. Cover your bases. Cover your bases. So, that being said, I think I want to move us on to Bible study because I had a... Sure thing. I had quite the realization as I was closing out chapter 12 of Ecclesiastes that I want to get to, because it's made me love the book even more. Holy buckets, and I cannot wait to get there. But, yeah. So I'm gonna hop on over to our Bible study display. I'm gonna make sure all my windows look good. I'm gonna just... Am I gonna scoot myself? I think I'm gonna scoot myself down just a little bit here. Ah, there we go. Hey, JV, I did exactly the same thing. I did exactly the same thing on your stream today. I don't know if you caught it. But yes, welcome in your true form. Welcome in the form we best recognize you in. Alrighty. Where we go? I am there. I'm gonna move me just a little bit down so that when we do this... Yeah, we're not catching the chat window anymore. Fantastic. Okay. Yes, that certainly happened. Alrighty, so we are on our ultimate chapter of Ecclesiastes. You can tell it's our ultimate chapter of Ecclesiastes because you can see on the display that we've got the Song of Solomon right here. I don't know if I've ever vocalized this on stream, but part of what makes me love Ecclesiastes so much is that we go through 12 chapters of some of the most, not the most definitely, but some of the most depressing bloviating in the Bible. We go through 12 chapters of a man, stating that he has wasted a good chunk of his life. He was trying to find, yes indeed, JV, he was trying to find meaning. He was not finding success in finding meaning. He has many regrets over the wasted time he spent apart from God. He's just kind of, the wheels are kind of falling off just a little bit for our buddy. And the book ends as he makes his claim one more time. Vanity of vanities, all is vanity. He closes things out, and then immediately it goes into, and man, do I love my wife. I love my wife so much. And that, I know this was not the original placement of these books next to each other as they were established in the, they would have been, Nevim Ketuvim, Torah, Ketuvim, the wisdom. But just something about just having them arranged in that order is so very amusing to me. Again, just, oh man, everything sucks too. I love my wife. I love my wife so much. Honestly, that's a lesson in and of itself, I would say. Yeah, and, man, I love catching you and your wife on stream, JV. It is, your dynamic is fantastic. I will say this, I can tell. Alrighty, so that is that. I'm going to, as I always do, before we kick us off, I'm going to say a word of prayer. Please bow your heads with me. Heavenly Father, thank you, as always, for the modern miracle of the internet, for live streaming, for the ability to connect with people that we maybe never would have met apart from this infrastructure we've built up. And yes, there are many evils out there on the internet. There are many ways it is twisted and depraved. But Lord, I never want to lose sight of just how wondrous and marvelous it is and how much good that we can use it for. And Lord, thank you for your word and the ability to talk about that, to study it, to bring it up. Also, just again, through this connection. Lord, thank you for the book of Ecclesiastes. As we've been making our way through this, Lord, I've been falling more and more in love with the words of the preacher who, in a time 1,000 years before your son came to earth, was nonetheless digging up wisdom that points us directly to him. And Lord, that is no coincidence. That is exactly how you inspired him to write it, Lord. So as we pull meaning out of this last chapter of the book, Lord, let my words be your words. Let the insights that I pull out be the insights that you want to convey. And just, again, Lord, thank you for this scripture, and thank you for the connections that are forged. Lord, I pray these things in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen. Alrighty. Absolutely. Okie doke. So, we are going to give the chapter a read through, and then we are going to engage with my myriad of post-it notes. This is the word of the Lord. Remember also your Creator in the days of your youth, before the evil days come and the years draw near, in which you will say, I have no delight in them. Before the sun and the light, the moon and the stars are darkened, and clouds return after the rain. In the day that the watchmen of the house tremble, and the mighty men stoop, grinding ones stand idle because they are few, those who look through windows grow dim, and the doors on the street are shut as the sound of the grinding mill is low. And one will arise at the sound of the bird, and all the daughters of the song will sing softly. Furthermore, men are afraid of a high place and of terrors on the road. The almond tree blossoms, the grasshopper drags himself along, and the caperberry is ineffective. For man goes to his eternal home when mourners go about in the street. Remember him before the silver cord is broken and the golden bowl is crushed. The pitcher by the well is shattered and the wheel at the cistern is crushed. Then the dust will return to the earth as it was, and the spirit will return to God who gave it. Vanity of vanities, says the preacher. All is vanity. In addition to being a wise man, the preacher also taught the people knowledge, and he pondered, searched out, and arranged many proverbs. The preacher sought to find delightful words to write words of truth correctly. The words of wise men are like goads, and masters of these collections are like well-driven nails. They are given by one shepherd. But beyond this, my son, be warned. Writing of many books is endless and excessive. Devotion to books is wearying to the body. The conclusion, when all has been heard, is fear God and keep his commandments, because this applies to every person. For God will bring every act to judgment, everything which is hidden, whether it is good or evil. And I'm glad that at the end of all of this rhetoric, Solomon very clearly just says, hey, here is the conclusion, and lo and behold, it is one sentence. But we'll get to that after we get through the rest of this chapter. So, when we last left off, we were talking, Solomon was giving an exhortation to young men, to people that are earlier in life than he is at the point he writes this book, to rejoice, to let their heart be pleasant, to find joy in life. There has been a warning as he's been going throughout this book of the excesses of pleasure, but he dials that back at this point and wants to make sure that their joy is not being thrown out, that we are capable of, that we are looking to find joy in creation. And I would argue, and I did argue, that we are made to find joy in creation. We are made to find joy in work. We are made to find joy in bringing creation towards its inevitable good end. So, we are kind of continuing on with this thought here. As he says, remember your Creator also in the days of your youth, before the evil days come and the years draw near in which you will say, I have no delight in them. So, and I guess I just I just did this, but I'm gonna go through my notes. So at the very beginning of the book, Solomon tried every delight under the sun. He could not find meaning in any of it. And now he is reining it in a bit while imploring those younger than him to find delight while he can. So Solomon's, at this point in our rhetoric, he's found the meaning, and it's the whole picture of existence. He's warning those younger than him that asceticism, restraining from the pleasures and delights in life, is not the answer either. The important thing in all endeavors is remembering your Creator and living in accord with him. as we closed out that last chapter, I want us to remember that creation is good, and there is nothing wrong with enjoying it, indeed, delighting in it. We are to find delight in creation. God found delight in creation. God finds delight in creation. Why wouldn't we? So, as he states, I have no delight in them, Solomon is about to launch into some crazy poetry that describes the absolute calamity that is aging. As a fun little game for each expression, you can see I've got a note pretty much after every phrase here. As a fun little game for each expression, I put my guesses as to what I thought he meant, followed by what I could synthesize from a couple commentaries. So, let's begin. Before the sun and the light, the moon and the stars are darkened. So, I said, this is loss of sight, and every commentary also said loss of sight, right? Sun and the light, moon and the stars are darkened. So, the poetic language in this section is so fantastic, because this is describing something very common as you age, is that your seeing gets worse. But what is being described poetically is a calamity. The sun and the light, the moon and the stars are darkened. The sky is going out. That is... that is... And we're going to keep going, but just the gravity of what is being conveyed here as death approaches, and the calamitous language that the poetry invokes. And the clouds return after the rain. So I said this was incontinence. But I think I was a little bit off. The commentary says repeated sickness or pneumonia. This idea that after you have gone through the symptoms of one ailment, after you have been sick in one way, immediately the clouds gather again and you become sick in another way. It is a constant downpour, it is constant rheumatism, whatever you want to call it. In that day, the watchmen of the house tremble. So I said this was shaking hands. The commentary said shaking heads as well as shaking hands, and I guess that makes sense to me. So I saw the hands as the watchmen of the body, as they are usually the way we interact, the way we first engage with things. Very true, JB, very true. Some of us are just constantly sick, but I will say age does not help. But yes, that is aging, obviously. Death, sickness are all unfortunate consequences of a fallen world, right? It is something we unfortunately have to deal with. 100%. So in the day that the watchmen of the house tremble, I said shaking hands, the commentary said shaking head as well as hands. So I was thinking of hands as, the watchmen. They are the part of the body that engages with things first most often, but the head makes also sense as a watchman, so I'll give myself half a point on that one. And mighty men stoop. This one felt to me like weakened legs, like quivering, legs that cannot hold someone up anymore, cause a man to stoop. Commentaries also agreed on the idea of weakened legs. The grinding ones stand idle because they are few. So this one I said loss of teeth. And the commentary actually takes this a step further, adding the decay of teeth in the mouth, and it's not something we think about all that often living in current year, but ancient peoples did not have the dentistry that we do. And boy, is that a nightmare to think about. The living in a time where we don't, there is not, or actually, even not even necessarily ancient people, like people in third world countries right now, a lack of, most of us keep our teeth for the majority of our lives, and that's not necessarily a guarantee, and I don't like thinking about that, so we're gonna move on, actually. Those who look through windows grow dim. So, I thought this one struck me as decreased mental faculties, right? The idea that the looking out through the windows into the world, and I don't know if that's actually a biblical phrase or not. I should look that up, but I was thinking of the eyes are the window to the soul. The eyes are the window to the inner being. So I was thinking this was decreased mental faculties. The commentary says that this is loss of sight again, and I'm gonna pick a bone and disagree. Why would we do why would Solomon do loss of sight again? We are talking about the things that look through the windows. I've got in my note here, did I not link scripture for this? Did I not come back? Do I want to go on this tangent right now? Of course I do. What am I talking about? Just give me a second to pull the reference. I have in my notes, good eye and bad eye, yes, which is Matthew 6:22. Let's go to 20 just for, I think this is, yes. So, this is the word of the Lord. The eye is the lamp of the body, so then if your eye is clear, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eye is bad, your whole body will be full of darkness. If then the light that is in you is darkness, how great is the darkness? So this is Jesus. This is Jesus talking about the eye being the lamp of the body, and the eye being the way which filters in the perception of the rest of the body. You know what? I'm making a case against myself now, but we're going to talk about it anyway. And what is specifically being communicated here is the idea of ra'ayin versus... why am I losing the Hebrew? Ayin ra and ayin... ayin ra and ayin tova. So an ayin tova is a good eye, a ayin ra is a bad eye. And what these are is an idiom for how we are perceiving the world, how we are processing events. It is talking about attitude more than anything else. This idea of as things are occurring to us, are we seeing them with an ayin tova, a good eye, or are we seeing them with an ayin ra'ah, a bad eye? That's a powerful, like, the way that we think about, the way that we choose to engage with events as they are occurring to us. Okay, I'm coming back to the things looking out of the windows is us. And we have control over what window we're looking out of. Anyway, the way that we are engaging with things that are occurring to us, the way we choose to frame events is going to have an effect on the way we move through our lives. It is going to, the eye is the lamp of the body. The eye is what's going to light the way and is going to light our bodies. So if we have a bad eye, we are going to be full of darkness. We are going to be full of pessimism. We are going to be full of this idea that things are not getting better because we are using our power of perception, our very, very limited, may I note, power of perception to view things in a negative light. So if we believe that as events are unfolding, they are unfolding negatively, that is going to negatively impact us and cause us, I would argue, and I would say Christ argues here as well, to put further negativity into the world. And as my good friend Sonic the Hedgehog says, that's no good. Yeah, so that's a tangent I probably didn't need to go on and isn't all that related, but I love me a tangent. So yeah, I disagree with the commentaries, and I'm right, and they're wrong. And there we go. And the doors on the street are shut as the sound of the grinding mill is low. I don't know. I was really confused on this one. If I relate to the grinding being teeth, I was thinking maybe this was difficulty eating in general, and then to my surprise, I found that I got it. I found that was correct. So the 2 or 3 commentaries I was sourcing all agreed that this was a reference to the difficulty of eating and swallowing, which, hey, I felt like I was stumped, but I actually think I'm starting a roll here, and one will arise at the sound of the bird. So this one I had trouble sleeping, and the commentaries had trouble sleeping as well. And this one's pretty self-explanatory, right? As you are getting older, it becomes harder to stay asleep, to maintain those healthy sleep cycles. So even just the chirping of a bird is going to potentially wake you up. Moving on, and all the daughters of song will sing softly. I said this was loss of hearing. Again, pretty easy to clock. What is the note on daughters here? Oh. What is the note on sing here? Ooh, be brought low. Interesting. But, loss of hearing, commentary agrees. I'm definitely on a roll at this point. Furthermore, men are afraid of a high place and of terrors on the road. So, this one just felt, unlike the others, which were symbolic in some way or another, this one just felt literal to me. Like, the world becomes more frightening as you get older, and your body starts failing. As your body starts not working in the way you expect it to work. You have less ability to react to the things around you. You have less control over your circumstances. And the general thrust of the commentaries I was looking through agreed. It added the note, one of them added the note of it being difficult to get to a high place in general, in that you need to, the exertion required to ascend elevation becomes difficult, which is an interesting spin given a lot of things in... I don't actually know if that's true of ancient, or like Solomonic age Israelite society, but I know a lot of things happened on the roof of houses in Christ's day. So that's another thought as well. The almond tree blossoms. So, on this one, I thought the streak was ending here. I do not, well, now I know more, post-study. I don't know much about almond trees. A quick Google found that they're a lot like sakura blossoms, in that they are really only, their flowers are really only bloomed for a short period of time. There is transience there. So they're around for a couple weeks, top. So I was thinking maybe this was a realization that life was coming to an end, that like the blossom of the almond tree, things were going to, fall off and no longer be around. I was thinking way too hard about this. Almond blossoms are white. This was just white hair. I absolutely could have gotten this one. The grasshopper drags himself along. So this one feels like a limp. I'm wondering why they did a grasshopper. A couple of the commentaries agreed with me. One of them said that a grasshopper might be a light snack, like locusts and honey kind of light snack. That one feels weird and completely out of left field, and part of the reason why I don't just always trust commentaries off the hip. I mean, that and other crazy takes I've seen. But we're just going to call this one a wash, I think. And now for this one. And the caperberry is ineffective. So this one right here, this one's talking about a loss of sexual desire. And I cheated on this one. Or rather, I knew this one going in, and to make up to you that I cheated, quote-unquote, on this one, I'm going to show you why. So, I want to note here in the text, we are in the New American Standard Bible, 1995, which is my preferred translation for lighter study, I suppose, is maybe the best way of putting it. And it translates this word right here as caperberry. We're going to pull up the Hebrew real quick. Come on. There we go. Oh, I guess we're not going to pull up the Hebrew? Come on. Come on, Logos. Work with me here. Can I not pop that into another tab, please? No? Really? Huh. Wild. Give me just a sec. Give me Strong's 35. Oh boy. I need to figure out how to navigate this software better. Where are we? We're just scrolling. We're scrolling through Hebrew again. Okay, my goodness gracious. Come on. Move. 183. I'm completely lost. Wait, I guess I could just do this. Okay, hang on. Fighting with the software is not the scuff. There we go. Was that hard, Logos? All right, so Strong's 35, caperberry, as stimulating desire. So the Hebrew for this is caperberry, 100%. That is the word. It means caperberry. It is a literal word that refers to a plant. Yes. So that is how NASB 1995 translates. We're gonna hop on over to the ESV here, and we are going to find that the word caperberry has been translated instead as desire. Just desire. So, what I have done here is I have snuck my opinions on biblical translation principles into this study of Ecclesiastes. This is a mini lecture inside of our mini game. So, biblical translations are a spectrum between two poles. There is what is called formal equivalence, which is known as word for word, and there is dynamic equivalence, which is known as thought for thought. There's also paraphrase. I have an image for this, don't I? I thought I did. There it is. Yes. So we've got word for word, and we have thought for thought. Does my cursor? No, it doesn't. That's fine. We have word for word through thought. I guess my cursor can dance a bit up top here. So we've got word for word to thought for thought, and there's also paraphrase. If you're doing Bible study in any way, shape, or form, if you're taking my counsel, I would stay away from paraphrase. These tend to me, go off the rails of what I would consider accurate translation principles. That's just my 2 cents. I am sure there are some people that do find value in the Message translation, and I am a firm adherent that the best Bible is the one you read, but as you get further to the right on this chart, I would say you are getting further and further away from an accurate conveyance of the meaning from the original languages that the Bible was written in, which is where I think inerrancy lives, is in the original manuscripts as they were written, not in our translations, just to be very clear. So, let's talk about then word for word and thought for thought, or formal equivalence versus dynamic equivalence. So, word for word tends to do the best it can to match each word in the target language, in our case English, to the underlying Hebrew or Greek, or in the case of Daniel, Aramaic. Sometimes it's going to result in oddly phrased sentences or idioms that are not going to make immediate sense as you're reading because they are idioms from the original language, and rather than try and match it to an idiom in English, in our case, instead the idiom as it was preserved, and you're going to have to go dig up context to make that make sense. And as a fan of context, I'm behind that. I love it when I am reading through my Bible and go, what the heck does that mean? That doesn't parse for me. And then find it's a Hebrew or a Greek idiom. And then I learn a new Hebrew or Greek idiom. It's a win all around. Thought for thought over here looks to render ideas and concepts as out of the box understandably in the target language, and again in our case that's English, as possible at the expense of losing accuracy to the original text. So as you can see from this chart, ESV and NASB are both very far over on the word for word. Interlinear isn't actually a Bible translation. If you've got an interlinear Bible, it is a supplement to an existing translation you have. But what an interlinear is going to do is it's going to go, it depends, but depends on your interlinear, I suppose. But an interlinear is going to literally just be presenting you with the Greek or Hebrew, and then have translations of the words above. So no actual translation, literally just the words strung together, and then you are reading along. But then we have NASB, AMP, ESV. I don't know. I'm sure there are other translations that fit. There are other translations that fit elsewhere in this chart. I am sure. I'm sure this is not an exhaustive list, but as you can see, both ESV and NASB are over on the word-for-word side of things. I am a word-for-word kind of guy, and my simply put problem with thought for thought is that a translator cannot without a doubt have known the thoughts of the original author. Some amount of assumption is going into translation, and I would much prefer, when I am reading the Word of God, I would much prefer the specificity. To demonstrate my point is our humble caperberry. So the ESV translates the Hebrew word caperberry as desire. Desire means, and like from the dictionary definition, is a strong feeling of wanting to have something or wishing for something to happen. So if I am reading through the ESV and I'm doing no further study, I would walk away from this perfectly coherent thought that desire fails with the understanding that Solomon is communicating the following idea. As people age, they stop wanting things as much. That is a perfectly cromulent, love that word. That is a perfectly that is something I could absolutely walk away from this with, and honestly, given it is 3 words in sequence, and I would read over that and not think a second thought. Meanwhile, because the NASB has stuck closer to the original language, and put, we're going to switch back to our NASB here, and translated it as caperberry, it instead generates a question for me as I am reading. And that question is, or was, when I first was going through this in the NASB, what the heck is a caperberry? And then what that does is it lets me head down the rabbit hole, and I'd find that the caperberry was used in ancient times as an aphrodisiac. So we are talking specifically about sexual desire and not just desire itself. So we have a specific desire that we are dialed in on that we are going to miss on ESV because it is more towards this thought for thought end of the spectrum. It made it easier to immediately read, absolutely, but it's broader. It has broadened the actual meaning. So, yeah. And I bet you were, I hope that this tangent was fun, informative, or both. This is something that I've put a lot of thought into articulating well, and I hope it was articulated well. But it is a nice sort of dramatic conclusion, tangential conclusion to our aging metaphors. Again, though, I want to restate the best Bible translation. Hear my words. The best Bible translation is the one that you read. The one that you are able to pick up and read and hear the word of God. I am not saying that one Bible translation is better than another Bible translation. Well, at least right now. There might be a streamer video on that later. But what I want to communicate more than anything else, again, is the best Bible translation is the Bible translation that you read. I prefer things more on the word-for-word side because, again, a translator cannot know the thoughts of the original author. They can take educated and very often very good guesses, but they can't know for sure. So I prefer the specificity that points us as closely as possible as a modern reader to the original text. Yes. Okay. So that is our aging metaphors. For man goes to his eternal home while mourners go about in the street. So this is the climax of our journey. This is the end of life. The man will not be stepping outside of his doors again. Mourners go about in the street, but the man does not join them. He has arrived at his destination. The language of eternal home here suggests the idea to us as modern readers of heaven with our outlook, with our modern Christian outlook. But that's out of place to me with how the Hebrews understood death. I think it is more likely that Solomon is continuing metaphoric speech here, and that's supported as we keep going on here. So Solomon is continuing the metaphoric speech here in that the grave is the destination. The man goes to the grave and he does not step out. And to continue to make my point, we're going to keep on with the metaphor here. Remember him before the silver cord is broken. So this is a silver cord, and Solomon has spoken of a cord as something that holds things together earlier here. This is something of value, something silver, which holds the body together, I would say. The imagery of strings is being cut, and whatever they were holding together, and again, let's take our translation spectrum back down. I don't think we need that no more. This idea of strings being cut, this idea of that which holds the body together being broken, gives me like the image of a marionette almost, having its strings cut and collapsing. The body is no longer animate. The golden bowl is crushed. We're first silver, right? Now gold. We're continuing on with valuable things. Life is valuable, and when it ends, we feel the loss of that value. So this bowl, this vessel which holds things in, right, it is getting crushed. It loses its shape, and it can't contain things anymore. It does not hold the life in. The pitcher by the well is shattered, and the wheel at the cistern is crushed. So both of these things, the pitcher at the well and the wheel at the cistern, are necessary, facilitate the drawing of water from the cistern. And I do not think I need to go on at length about what happens if one cannot access water. And here's the meat. All right. Then the dust will return to the earth as it was, and the spirit will return to God who gave it. Okay, so while I'm on kicks, I figure I may as well get this kick out of the way as well. And there will definitely be a stream or video on this at some point. But when I get the opportunity to talk about it, I do. So I am a believer that when we die as human beings, we do not go straight to heaven or straight to hell. I believe that when we die, we are dead. I believe the theory, the theological theory for it is soul sleep, which draws on the language that the apostles tend to use when they are talking about those that have passed away. They are asleep. So let's talk about let's look at what Solomon is riffing off of here, because he's not making these statements in a vacuum. So this first, then the dust will return to the earth. We're going to hop to Genesis 3:19. This is the word of the Lord. This is the curse on Adam after the fall. By the sweat of your face you will eat bread, till you return to the ground, because from it you were taken. For you are dust, and to dust you shall return. So, this is pretty simple. God made Adam out of dust in his curse. In his curse, we are all going to return to dust. The stuff that Adam was made out of, earth, is going to return to the earth. But the juicy part of this is this word right here. This word is spirit. Give me just a sec. The word here is spirit. The Hebrew for this is ruach. Ruach. I'll work on the pronunciation. And this can mean breath, wind, or spirit. So, there's some good conversation to be had about this word ruach. It is not the word that we most commonly translate from Hebrew as soul. That word is nephesh, and that word also has relations to breath, but that is a word that means more closer to neck. It is the kind of the entirety or the culmination of the breathing or living being. But we're not talking about nephesh, we're talking about ruach. And it can mean breath or wind or spirit. And when we see this word used as spirit, we see a bit of further division on what it precisely means when it is used as spirit. So it is used as temperament or disposition, like here in Genesis 41, verse 8. This is the word of the Lord. Now in the morning his spirit was troubled, so he sent and called for the magicians of Egypt and all its wise men. And Pharaoh told them his dreams, but there was no one who could interpret them to Pharaoh. And we can see here that spirit is that ruach, right? That breath, breeze, wind. So we are using the word here as disposition, as the way that Pharaoh is interacting with the world here. As the way that Pharaoh is reacting to the world around him. We also see this word, ruach, spirit, when it's used as spirit. All right, catch you later, Elijah. You are gonna want to catch before you leave. You are gonna want to catch the notes I have at the very end of this, because I think you will find them fascinating. But I don't want to spoil them. So grab the VOD. It's worth it, I promise. I'll do my best to present it well. But yes, and then the other split, right, is so we've got temperament or disposition for this word when it is used as spirit as opposed to breath or wind. And then we have the animating principle, which is sustained by God. And for that, fantastic. Have a great one, Elijah. Have a blessed New Year's Day. Rest of your New Year's Day, my friend. So, temperament or disposition. Now we are on to animating principle, which God sustains. And for that, we're going to hop to Psalm 104, 27 through 30. This is the word of the Lord. They all wait for you. You give them their food in due season. You give to them, they gather it up. You open your hand, and they are satisfied with good. You hide your face, they are dismayed. You take away their spirit, they expire, and return to their dust. You send forth your spirit, they are created, and you renew the face of the ground. So, what we do not ever find this word ruach conveying is the sense of a disembodied soul, of something that is separate from a person, or some of the idea of a person separate from their body, as we would commonly understand a soul. But this is a very fascinating topic. It's one I'd really like to and probably will devote a whole stream or video to. But for the purposes of this study in verse, I find it best understood as we are looking at in Psalm 104 here. The thing that keeps a person alive that God can take away. And when God takes away this spirit, when God takes away the breath from something, from someone, expire. That makes sense. But I want to note, and this is part of why I like this interpretation so much. Also, you'll note here we have this idea of returning to dust after the spirit is taken away. You send forth your spirit, they are created, and you renew the face of the ground. Now I will note that this spirit here, also ruach, same word, and I think same part of speech and everything. So not only is the spirit that thing that keeps people alive that God can take away, it is something that God sends forth to create or renew. And if that doesn't sound Christian to you, we'll make it sound Christian to you eventually. I won't tangent on it too much here. Yes, so that is how I understand this verse right here, that where the spirit returns to God who gave it. The body returns to the earth. The breath goes back to God who first breathed life into human beings in the first place. When the spirit returns to God, when the animating principle returns to God, when God takes that back, the person is no longer alive. Vanity of vanities, says the preacher. All is vanity. Now, where have I heard this before? Well, I heard it at the start of this book. Vanity of vanities, says the preacher. All is vanity. In fact, that is pretty much how he opened this thing up. And here he is at the end. He's got a little bit of an afterword bit, but here he is at the end saying it again. And when I see this same phrase right near the front of the book, as it is at the end of the book, it's almost like things might be mirrored. And I think when I see mirrored thoughts at the start and the end of something, I start thinking about chiasms. And if you don't know what a chiasm is, I'm about to learn you. So let's put the word out real quick. I really need I just need a whiteboard view. That would be. Let me make a note of a whiteboard view. Actually, you know what? I have the perfect whiteboard view right here. It's called Notepad++. I can't sketch on it, but that doesn't really matter. Okay, you know what? That's fine. So, all right. So we are talking about this idea of a chiasm, which is spelled like. Can I zoom this in at all? Probably not. Actually, yeah, chiasm. And a chiasm is a literary device that is used to unpack a series of ideas by presenting them in a mirrored fashion. These things are all over the Bible, like really all over the Bible. Once you start seeing them, you can't stop seeing them. And it's important. Well, it's not important to, you don't need to know what a chiasm is to understand the Bible, but boy howdy does it enrich one's understanding of Scripture. So, this idea of a chiasm. It's a literary device. You unpack a series of ideas by presenting them in a mirrored fashion. So the pattern for a chiasm goes something like, let me just copy out my notes to this note. The idea of a chiasm is that you go idea A, idea B, and sometimes you have an idea C, a central idea that is not revisited, and then B revisited and A revisited. And you can draw this idea, you can draw this out further. So you could go A, B, C, D, C, B, C, revisited, B revisited, A revisited. The idea is you go through some pack of ideas, and then you mirror it, and you come back revisiting the ideas that you went through already. And again, sometimes there is a central like middle thought that does not get revisited. It is just the center, and sometimes it is just like this, where you are going through, and then you are mirroring your pattern with no central thought. So you can do some really, really fun and interesting things with this rhetorical device as you revisit ideas and add insights from previous ideas that you were unpacking. But let's hop to a very simple example within Scripture. We're going to hop to Proverbs 6, 16 through 19. This is the word of the Lord. There are 6 things which the Lord hates, yes, 7 things which are an abomination to him. Haughty eyes, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood. A heart that devises wicked plans, feet that run rapidly to evil, a false witness who utters lies, and one who spreads strife among brothers. So, as you can see, I have highlighted things here. So what we have in yellow is idea A, green is idea B, blue is idea C, and red is idea D. And you will note that we do have a center of this chiasm, which is one thought that is not revisited. So we have an A, B, C, D, C revisited, B revisited, A revisited pattern on this chiasm. So the, just to unpack this one, right? Yellow, the idea on yellow is haughty eyes and one who spreads strife among brothers. So these are related ideas. When you have haughty eyes, when you see yourself as better than others, you are going to cause strife, you are going to cause division by putting yourself above others. Green, right? A lying tongue and a false witness who utters lies. That's pretty self-explanatory how those are connected. A lying tongue makes for a false witness. Blue. This one's a little rougher, or a little harder to see, but it's there. And hands that shed innocent blood, feet that run rapidly to evil. So instead of being related directly on the concept here, we are instead are related on the poetic metaphor. We have hands that shed innocent blood, and we have feet that run rapidly to evil. So between these two ideas, all of the extremities, aside from the head, which we're actually going to get to, they are going towards and committing evil acts. But my favorite thing about chiasms, and my favorite form of chiasms, are the ones that have a center. Because this one has a center. And the center of these chiasms is often the biggest point of emphasis, as well as the lens by which you want to unpack the rest of the rhetoric you consider. So in this case, the center is a heart that devises wicked plans. Now, if we take a step back and look at the rest of this chiasm, we can see how everything else comes from this central idea. A heart which is not after God is the root of all these other evils. And what this mirrored pattern does for us is it brings our focus to this central thought. A heart that devises wicked plans, that's the whole ballgame. That's what matters. When we say as Christians, it's your heart posture, we are talking about loving the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your might, which I've unpacked previously, basically just means all your heart several times in slightly different ways. But yes, so now we've gone through an example of a chiasm. Now we know what a chiasm is, and we're going to go back to the original question. Could the entire book of Ecclesiastes be one big chiasm? And I kind of wish I had done the legwork on myself on this, but Googling is also a skill, and don't ever let anyone tell you it's not. So there is a blog out there, and this is a resource I would recommend if you're at all interested in this idea of chiasms, called Biblical Chiasm Exchange. There is a blog out there, just in case you think I am absolutely nuts, and this is not an important thing. There is a blog out there that has collected chiasms throughout Scripture and puts together these examples. So there's a blog post we're going to pop up right now that has the same idea, that comes to the same idea that I did, in that the book of Ecclesiastes might just be one big chiasm. So, all right, I'm going to ignore the condescending tone of this note. We've got our title. The author is mentioned in third person. We've got the idea of the brevity of the insignificance of life. We have wisdom's failure to discover life's meaning. We have regarding time. We have our center of fear God. We have time revisited. We have wisdom's failure revisited. We have life's brevity revisited. And then we have conclusion, the author mentioned in the third person. And let's just do this real quick. So if we go back to Ecclesiastes, here we are at the end, right? This is a revisited. This is, in addition to being a wise man, the preacher also taught the people now knowledge. You will note the tense change from giving direction, from directives. Remember your creator. Do this. Do that. Furthermore, men are afraid of high place. To speaking about the author, speaking about the preacher, talking about him. So there's that. And if we go to the top of the book here, oh boy, got a little too excited. The words of the preacher, the son of David, king in Jerusalem. So there is our mirrored author talking about himself. Where is my tab? Then we have the brevity and insignificance of life. I do think they had a typo here. I think it is 1:2 through 1:12, or 1:11 here, and then life's brevity revisited in 10:20 through 12:8. So if we go 1:2 through 1:12, we can see it starts with vanity of vanities, all is vanity, and then it goes through and talks about the brevity of life, talks about all of these things that happen. Nothing new happens under the sun rises, the sun sets, and if we get to the end here in our thought that concludes with, I need to stop doing that. If we get to the end here, we have literally just also been poetically talking about the brevity of life, talking about the calamities of aging, talking about how life ends. So we're good on that mark as well. Then if we hop back here, wisdom's failure to discover life's meanings is 1:12 through 2:26. Wisdom's failure is revisited in 7:15 through 10:19. So let's look at 7:15 through 10:19, which is pretty big, but you see we have some poetic proverbs here talking about wisdom and folly, followed by the importance of obeying rulers and how that while you should do that, it doesn't do anything. It is ultimately not what you're looking for. We have men in the hand of God. Did I lose my place here? 7-9? No, yeah. Men in the hand of God, whatever your hands find to do, and then kind of closing on foolishness. So these are, I think there's probably more division that could happen here, and maybe I'll dig in and do that myself at some point. But all of these are talking about wisdom's failure, how wisdom does not achieve what needs to happen. And then if we look back up at, man, I am scattershotting this, but I hope it's understandable. Wisdom's failure, 1:12 through 2:26. So you'll note this section starts with poetry here, and 1:12 through 2:26. 1:12. Actually, never mind. That is not the point I wanted to make. But we were talking about the futility of wisdom, the futility of pleasure and possessions that were found as he was guiding himself with wisdom. We are talking about the use of wisdom, but the futility of labor. So you will note we were talking about the futility of labor over here. And as we get towards the end, just again to... I should have prepared this better. So you'll note we've got the futility of labor, and then we have whatever your hands finds to do is the goodness of labor. And that brings me kind of to this... Oh, sorry, one more point here, right? Is time 3:1 through 15, and time 7:1 through 14. And this one's real. So 7:1 through 14. Boom. This is all about the passage of time. This is about how as we are going through our lives, we are talking about the end of every man. We are talking about the proper attitude to have as we are dealing with the passage of time. If we pop up to 3, I believe that's our merisms. Yes, where we are talking about time to give birth and time to die, a time to plant, a time to uproot this planet, a time to kill, and a time to heal. So here we are talking about what the distinct times we have are. And down here we are talking about the proper reactions to the passing of time. Now, what all of these things are collapsing around, right? What all of these things are funneling us to, is the center of this chiasm, which is fearing God, which is 3:16 through 6:12. So 3, and that is where we get through our merisms here, and then we are talking about the judgment of God. We are talking about the evils of oppression and how justice only comes from God. We start talking about the attitude of God. We talk about the futility of life apart from God. And what the Stack Exchange notes here, what this blog notes, is that the center, the mathematical center of this book, which I love, is 6:12. And 6:12 is For who knows what is good for the man during his lifetime, during the few years of his futile life? He will spend them like a shadow. For who can tell a man what will be after him under the sun? So we have, at the center of this chiasm, we don't have this supposed chiasm. And I think I want to dig into this more and maybe do my own, but that's a video. That's a whole video of itself. That is more preparation than a stream. But we have this at the mathematical center of the book. We have this rhetorical question: who knows what is good for a man during his lifetime, during the few years of his futile life? He will spend them like a shadow. For who can tell a man what will be after him under the sun? And that's, I love that the center of this chiasm in this book of hard to tease out wisdom, it does not make a point. It asks a question. But at this point, reading through the entirety of the book, you should very clearly know the answer to who knows what is good for a man during his lifetime. In fact, Solomon himself knows the answer to this. If we pop over to Proverbs 5:21, this is the word of the Lord: for the ways of man are before the eyes of the Lord, and he watches all his paths. So the answer to this question, Solomon knows the answer to the question. He expects us to know the answer to this question, but he wants us thinking about it. If this chiasmic structure is set up as we expect, everything centers on this idea that God is the one who knows what is good for us. God is the one who orders our steps. God is the one who sees our life as well as the life of everything that will walk the earth after us. He's given us the best assurance that he possibly could, and that's from a more Christian perspective, right? Becoming human and dying, that he is in our corner. God knows what is good for us, and that's what's at the center of this chiasm. Not only does God know what is good for us, God has our steps already ordered. God has our back. That's at the center of Ecclesiastes with this proposed chiasmic structure. And again, none of this is gospel. Don't take my word for it. In fact, I want to do my own digging. I think I can actually put together a better structure than this. But there is definitely something there. This structure is absolutely being employed in this book, and the fact that it is like I was going through the study, I go, vanity of vanities, all is vanity. He says that exactly at the start of the book, and I went, yo, I bet it seems to me like he is mirroring all of his points around something. And again, if that verse 6:12 is the center, and I'm going to do my own research, I'm not going to take their word for it. I love that is the center. I love that the center is a question, and the answer to that question is God knows what is going to happen to you. Yes, so that's chiasms, that's the postulation, and I think it's a very good postulation. I think it's so good that I think I'm going to try and do it myself, that the entire book of Ecclesiastes is one big rhetorical device, is one big chiasm that points us to this question of who has our steps ordered, who knows what is good for us under the sun, and the answer is God. And Solomon knows that, and we know that, but he wants to make us think about it. And he wrote a whole freaking book as a rhetorical device to do that. And if that's not the coolest thing ever, man, I don't know what is. Anyway, let's close out. So, in addition to being a wise man, the preacher also taught the people knowledge, and he pondered, searched out, and arranged many proverbs. The preacher sought to find delightful words and to write words of truth correctly. So, Solomon's puffing himself up just a little bit here. He's puffing yourself up there, preacher man. And I would say he's not wrong, though. The wisdom in this book and Proverbs are incredibly delightful and indeed often ring very, very true. And if the amount of thought put into this is, he has certainly written delightful and truthful words. So I don't mind the little bit of a self-brag there. The words of wise men are like goads, and masters of these collections are like well-driven nails. They are given by one shepherd. All right, so this one's packed. So we love a good sheep and shepherd metaphor on this channel, don't we, Tommy? I should get... That would be a fun stream interact. It's Tommy Interactions. Note that down. Fantastic. So we love a good sheep and a good shepherd metaphor on this channel. So a goad. This idea of a goad. That is a tool that is used to direct sheep or cattle. And it's usually just a pointy stick, where if they're going the wrong way, you poke them a little bit, and they start going the right way. So the goad is a tool used to direct sheep or cattle. So the words of wise men are like goads. They are useful tools to give direction to people. And then we are saying the masters of these sheep, right, to the people that you lead. And the masters of these collections are like well-driven nails. So nails, and I think my software has a note right here. That's not super helpful. But nails are, or tent pegs, it's the same word, are metaphorically used to represent princes or leaders of men. To make this point, we're going to hop over to Zechariah. This is the word of the Lord. My anger is kindled against the shepherds, and I will punish the male goats, for the Lord of hosts has visited his flock, the house of Judah, and will make them like his majestic horse in battle. From them will come the cornerstone, from them the tent peg, from them the bow of battle, from them every ruler, all of them together. So this is broadly God's talking about the line of kings that is coming from the line of Judah. But tent peg here, this is peg. This is the word that is also used, translated as nails over here. And nails are used to represent, again, princes or leaders of men, just like the bow of battle that we saw over here is used to, figuratively, to represent rulers. Can we get a hover here? Yep. So we have this idea of, so we have the masters of the collection are like well-driven nails. So those that are masters of these words of wise men, who have mastered these collections of word of wise men, they are well-driven nails. They are secured. They are good leaders that hold the people in place and hold the people to proper standards, guided by this wisdom. And finally, right, a shepherd, this idea of a shepherd, is a king that God approves of, just like David. David is David's the golden boy. David is the example we're going to measure the other kings by. But let's note here that Solomon says that all of these things, the collections of words and the masters of those collections alike, are given by one shepherd. So what was the beginning of wisdom again? He asks rhetorically. We're going to pop over to Proverbs 9:10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. So, a good shepherd with knowledge of the Holy One, and, if I'm reaching a little, who's associated with nails. We're going to pop over to John 10:11 here. This is the word of the Lord. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep. He who is a hired hand and not a shepherd, who is not the owner of the sheep, sees the wolf coming and leaves the sheep and flees, and the wolf snatches them and scatters them. He flees because he is a hired hand and not concerned about the sheep. I am the good shepherd, and I know my own, and my own know me. And even as the Father knows me, and I know the Father, I lay down my life for the sheep. So, nowhere I want to state, and I will. This is a little thing I coined. Nowhere in the Bible is safe from Jesus. He's everywhere, which makes sense. It is his word, after all. But moving us right along as we close out our Ecclesiastes, as I'm hopping from Proverbs. But beyond this, my son, be warned, the writing of many books is endless, and excessive devotion to books is wearying to the body. So this is a reprise of this idea we've seen throughout Ecclesiastes, that meaning is not found solely through study, through independent understanding, or any of our activities, really. Meaning is found by recognizing our place in creation in relation to our Creator. And Solomon's going to hammer this home in the last verse of Ecclesiastes. The conclusion, when all has been heard, is fear God and keep his commandments, because this applies to every person. For God will bring every act to judgment, everything which is hidden, whether it is good or evil. So, God will bring every act to judgment. We checked in with our good shepherd earlier, and I'm curious if he has anything to say about this conclusion of Solomon's. I'm asking rhetorical questions just like Solomon does. We're going to hop over to John 5:20 through 29. This is the word of the Lord. For the Father loves the Son and shows him all things that he himself is doing, and the Father will show him greater works than these, so that you will marvel. For just as the Father raises the dead and gives them life, even so the Son also gives life to whom he wishes. For not even the Father judges anyone, but he has given all judgment to the Son, so that all will honor the Son even as they honor the Father. He who does not honor the Son does not honor the Father who sent him. Truly, truly, I say to you, he who hears my word and believes him who sent me has eternal life, and does not come into judgment, but has passed out of death into life. Truly, I say to you, an hour is coming, and now is, when the dead will hear the voice of the Son of God, and those who hear will live. For just as the Father has life in himself, Even so, he gave to the Son also to have life in himself, and he gave him authority to execute judgment, because he is the Son of Man. Do not marvel at this, for an hour is coming in which all who are in the tombs will hear his voice, and will come forth, those who did the good deeds into a resurrection of life, who committed the evil deeds to a resurrection of judgment. So our shepherd is our judge. As I stated earlier, it all comes back to him. When he judges, it will be as his beloved sheep, or as, do we have that metaphor here? No, it will be as his beloved sheep. Those who know him, those who heard his voice and followed him, will go with him into a resurrection of life, and those who did not follow him will go into a resurrection of judgment. But that is the promise of those that follow Christ, that they are going into a resurrection of life. Because as our shepherd, as our leader, who has this understanding of the Lord, being the Lord himself and being the Son of God, he has the understanding of God. He has this wisdom. He is that nail. He is that nail which is firmly fixed, which lets us go with him into this resurrection. And again, when I hear nail, and again, it's a bit of a reach, but I hear it, and it's there. When I hear nail, I think about how we have all of our hope fixed on Christ's death at the cross and resurrection. We have the physical nails that nailed Christ to the cross, and we have Christ as the nail himself, who is our leader, who is our cornerstone, who is our king and our shepherd, who is going to bring us out of death, who is going to bring us out of sin, out of this slavery to things that are not of God, into resurrection with him, into resurrection towards the Father. Yeah. So that's the conclusion of Ecclesiastes. My favorite book of the Bible, and it became all the more my favorite as I was going through it in this study, and found that it very well might be a chiasm, and the whole book, likely is a massive rhetorical device, which, if the center is where I think it is, if the center is where it's stated to be, points us to the rhetorical question of, who knows what is best for mankind? Well, it's God. So yeah, if anybody has any thoughts, any questions, etc., feel free to let those fire. I'm gonna hang out for just a minute or two more here. Then I'm going to take a break and get myself something to hydrate with, and then we will be back with our Logos lock. I believe have just... Yes, we are journeying further into the Sinnoh region to make sure that Team Galactic stops blowing things up. Yeah, we're headed over towards Canaleva City, I believe. So yeah, I'll give folks just a minute here to come in with any questions or comments or their thoughts on Ecclesiastes, or to tell me that I'm an absolute nutcase for seeing poetic forms that aren't there. But if I don't hear nothing, I will be going into break. This is always... I have too much fun on stream. I have far too much fun on stream. I don't. I have the requisite amount of fun going through Christ's scripture. My goodness gracious. Alrighty, I'm not seeing anything filtering in, so give me, honestly, 2 or 3 minutes here. I will be right back, or should I say, right back. I have returned. But, I need to launch things real quick, so I will just be a disembodied voice for another minute yet. We're having, we can go there. Oh my goodness. That was, every time I go through the Bible and really commit myself to studying it, I feel like I make just more and more realizations that convince me there is no possible way this book is not divinely inspired. Every time I dig into this game, my goodness. I mean, every time I dig into this book, it is just, there is more and more fantastically wonderful insights, revelations. Revelation's a loaded word. Speaking of which, we'll be talking about eschatology. We'll be talking about eschatology on Saturday, and my eschatology, and I don't know how prepared I'm going to be with that. There's probably going to be a lot of couching on that stream, but we shall see. All right, we should be good too. Where is my... There we go. All right. We are back to Logos Lock, gang. After that wonderful conclusion of Ecclesiastes. 116 Pokedex. Not bad, Renai. Alright. Started from Veilstone's 30. TM30 was attained. Smokel was attained. Arrived in Celestic Town. Dragonfang was attained. Caught a female Gramble. Beat Cyrus at Celestic Town. Yes. We just had a boss fight with Cyrus. I believe we are in the Celestic Town Pokemon Center. We are. I think I'm going over to Canalave City. That is... Yes. Okay. Team check. We have... I should get my other thing open. We have Queen of Sheba, the Camerupt, who is named after the Queen of Sheba, who came to meet Solomon with a retinue of camels. So we have named this camel in honor of that. Don't think about it too much. This is Joab, the Wobbuffet. Wobbuffet is a Pokemon which fights primarily through revenge. Joab is I think he was more or less David's right-hand man. Joab is and after one of the many wars that David was fighting ended, Joab did not like that certain individuals who became part of the nation of Israel had gotten away with killing his, I want to say brother, I'll have to double check. So the important part is that Joab murdered that man in cold blood after inviting him to what was effectively a truce. So this revenge-driven Pokemon we have named Joab. We have Swellow. Swellow is said to be a mighty hunter. He also has flecks of red. Esau is the brother of Jacob, who also has that red coloration. So we have Esau the Swallow here. Esau also has a life that is marked by a bit of suffering, and I especially think of the story where he traded his birthright for stew because he was starving. We tend to slap status conditions on Esau to trigger his guts ability, in which case the name becomes even the more fitting. Here we have a Meganium named Solomon. Bayleaf, the pre-evolution of Meganium, is said to have a collection of spices around its neck. Solomon, the ancient king whose book we've just been going through in Ecclesiastes, is said to have had more spices than any king in Israel before or after him. So that's our name there. Here we've got a Hitmonlee, a no-nonsense Pokemon that just fights. We have named him after Peter the Zealot. We actually had a Hitmonlee in our Emerald Run, which was no more, that got this name, and this Hitmonlee has inherited. And then here we have Herod Agrippa. Empoleon is a tyrant of a Pokemon named after Napoleon Bonaparte. So it only makes sense that we would name this Empoleon after a tyrant of biblical times, Herod Agrippa, who put in for the massacre of children to make sure that he got rid of the Messiah, the threat to his throne. Alrighty, I'm going to look at my level cap for Canalave here before we move right along. There is my browser. There we go. Probably can't put that there. We'll put that there. Perfect. And Byron is our upcoming gym leader. My goodness. I never got my face rigging figured out. I need to get the application. My Nintendo DS is, for whatever reason, eating the keystrokes that I usually use for the shortcuts that change my facial expressions on my avatar. So if I am, the reason that I am only ever just smiling as I am playing through these games, and not frowning as I'm panicking, for instance, is because I need to find a way to get those keystrokes to pass through. So that is something I need to remind myself to do. Also, our death count is at 7, I believe. Or is it 8 now? Might be 8 now. Let's check Shale real quick. Let's check our grave box. Who have we lost? 1, 2, 3... Nope, just 7. Okay. Can I clear this if I go away from it and come back? Yes. Alright. Never forget who we've lost. So, let's pop our fly open. Isa. Okay, so we're headed to Canalave, which is here. 211. So, Route 211. Have we caught... Do we have a friend from 211 yet? I'm gonna guess we do. Let's double check. I really need to get my tracking on this better. Better. Wayward Cave, Verity 210. Okay, let's check the box. Because if we have a friend from 211 already, then we can't catch another friend. That's how Nuzlocke works. 201. Okay. Maybe we don't have someone from 2... No, there's no way we've gotta... There we go. Hero. Okay. Who has been an all-star... who has been an all-star this run, to be very, very clear. That Octillery, that King of Tyre, has been absolutely fantastic. Alright. So we are going to Canalave City. And I think there's a slobber knocker of a rival fight coming up. And I'm going to be prepared for it this time. Rival. Just a sec. Sorry, I'm paging through documentations, which is boring, but I don't want to get absolutely wiped. Not that. There we go. Okay, he's gonna lead with a Staraptor. And he's gonna have an Infernape. Okay, that's good enough information for me. Alright, so back to the game. Ooh. Man, getting fly in a given Pokemon game is just so nice. It's so very nice. Okay, we need to put Surf on somebody. Teach Surf to... Oh, well, Herod's the only one that can learn it. 95. We'll override Brian. As good of a button as Brian is, Surf is just more consistent. Okay. Then we gotta go west. Go west, young trainer. Okay, and this is a new route, question mark? 218 it is. Fantastic. Pokeball, accuracy. I really need to find where the fishing rods are. But we're gonna catch a new friend here. Rare candy. Super duper useful. Don't have a bajillion of those already on my completely legal copy of Pokemon Emerald. Alright, that's a dupe. So we'll catch something else instead. I should probably be leading with someone that isn't Queen of Sheba. I think Peter's actually not a bad lead here. Alright. Is it just Staravia? It might just be Staravia. Actually, is there grass on this? Yeah, there is. Let's go with the grass. What do we got? Ooh, Vigoroth. And we even already have a name for one of these. It was our starter for our last run. Alright, do we have anybody that can do okay damage to this without dropping it? I just want to start hucking balls. You know what, Herod's got Cut. I don't think a Cut should drop this. Herod can also sit on... I can do another Cut. That's safe. Okay, now I'm risking crit, so let's just huck an Ultra Ball. Good Rod is Heart Home, Super Rod is post-game. Okay. How's it going, Pluber? Welcome to the stream. Tart beats at a tenfold tempo, so it cannot sit still for even a moment. Well, I know what it's going to become, and in honor of the starter from our last run, we are going to name this. We are going to name this after in honor of our starter from the last run. Now, let me just find where in Judges she is. Welcome to stream, Flipper. Hearthhome. Okay, I will go knock down doors in Hearthhome probably right after the rival fight. That's probably going to lose me a Pokemon. Judges 16. Where is that? You must be going absolutely crazy over the fact that my favorite book of the Bible, Pluver, is probably just one giant rhetorical device that I only realized in studying it for stream. It has jumped even further up my my favorites. Ecclesiastes. Vanity of vanities. Vanity of vanities, says the preacher. All is vanity. That's actually the phrase that keyed me in that it very well might be that rhetorical device. I'm either going to go through and do it again as a separate little video, or I'll pull out a clip on YouTube and just throw it up as a video, because that was a crazy thing to realize and a crazy thing to share with folks. But the rhetorical device in question, I don't know if you're familiar, is called a chiasm. Not going to tread over that right now, but okay. Pop into our naming display. Oh, it actually captured this time. Fantastic. Let's give a name to our Vigoroth. So Vigoroth is going to evolve into Slacking, which is a slacker of a Pokemon. And as far as slacker women go, or women that pull people into slacking, or sloth, we have very few better than Delilah, the lover of Samson. This is the word of the Lord. After this, it came about that he loved a woman in the valley of Sorek, whose name was Delilah. The lords of the Philistines came to her and said to her, "Entice him and see where his great strength lies, and how we may overpower him, so that we may bind him to afflict him. Then we will give each of you 1,100 pieces of silver." So Delilah said to Samson, "Please tell me where your great strength is, how you may be bound to afflict you." Samson said to her, "If they bind me with 7 fresh cords that have not been dried, then I will become weak and be like any other man." Then the lords of the Philistines brought to her 7 fresh cords that had not been dried, and she bound him with them. Now she had men lying in wait in an inner room, and she said to him, "The Philistines are upon you, Samson." But he snapped the cords as a string of tow snaps when it touches fire. So his strength was not discovered. Then Delilah said to Samson, "Behold, you have deceived me and told me lies. Now please tell me how you may be bound." He said to her, "If they bind me tightly with new ropes, which has not been used, then I will become weak and like any other man." So Delilah took new ropes and bound him with them, and said to him, "The Philistines are upon you, Samson," for men were lying in wait in the inner room. But he snapped the ropes from his arms like a thread. 11,000 silver. 1,100 pieces of silver. Let's find out. Let's see if Logo sent any notes. 1,100 pieces of silver. Let's see what the... This is the inbound AI on my Bible software, or the included in AI on my Bible software, which is spinning and not giving me an answer. I don't really care about Daenerys. Yeah, so it would depend on the weight of the silver, is what this is saying to me, which is, only so helpful. So, sorry, I don't have an answer for you. I'll do a little independent study. We're gonna skip ahead just to here. Then Delilah said to Samson, "Up to now you have deceived me and told me lies. Tell me how you may be bound." And he said to her, "If you weave the 7 locks of my hair with the web and fasten it with a pin, then I will become weak like any other man." So while he slept, Delilah took 7 locks of hair and wove them into a web. And she fastened it with the pin and said to him, "The Philistines are upon you, Samson." But he awoke from his sleep and pulled out the pin of the loom of the web. Google. $11,000 sounds actually incredibly... that sounds like a good amount. Because Samson was a literal terror to the Philistines, who had already basically trashed their entire agricultural setup, who was a a brute that was just kind of destroying their men. So $11,000 to get rid of something that is a terror to your nation, if you are the lords of the Philistines, sounds like a perfectly acceptable answer. I can get behind that. So to this sloth that is going to bind us with her laziness eventually, we are going to give the name Delilah. Delilah. Alright. Coolio. That's our new friend on this route. Ooh, could have had a Houndoom. I don't know why I did that. I didn't need to do that. Whatever. Alright. Hello, sir. Renai, long time no see. Are you Dawn's dad, right? Oh, you look puzzled. You're wondering who I am. I'm Professor Rowan's assistant and Dawn's father. Got it! That's what memory gets you. I remember you, sir. The professor asked that I upgrade your Pokedex, you see. So I'd chosen this spot on a hunch that you passed through. Renai, may I have your Pokedex for a moment? Let's see. Where was I supposed to put the software here? All done. I've upgraded your Pokedex. I should explain how it's been upgraded, shouldn't I? It can now display images of male and female Pokemon. Okay, I'll leave you to carry on with your project for the professor. May I also ask you to keep an eye on Team Galactic? The professor is concerned about what happened in Jubilife City. The bomb? How about the bomb? Is he not concerned about the bomb? It's probably nothing to worry over. I'll be on my way now. Bye. So, alright. Canalife City. Okay. If I cross that bridge, I'm in battle territory. So I believe he leads with a, I don't know which team he has because I don't know which starter I have. I think he has the Infernape team though. So we're dealing with a Staraptor, Floatzel, Heracross, Roserade, Infernape. Man, the Diamond and Pearl rival is not to be trifled with. So I need something that can deal with... Welcome back, Elijah. I need something that can deal with... We need to go back to the gaming to play. Well, welcome back for as long as you are back, my friend. Let's throw some levels on Nicodemus and see if he can deal with a Staraptor. We'll swap him out for... What's not going to be useful? Honestly, Peter, I think you're going to be on the bench for this one. Let's slap some levels on Nicodemus and maybe hope he learns something useful. Where are my rare candies? There are my rare candies. I need something to... I need to find something, like, easy to bloviate on as I am just leveling people up. There's gotta be... Rock Tomb is a pretty good tool for dealing with Staraptor. Rock Throw. Why are rock moves so bad? Why are rock moves so bad? Fake Tears feels like it is a... I mean, I probably should have just overwritten Rock Throw, but whatever. Rocks... Now, see, there's... Yeah, okay. Why every rock move have 90 accuracy? Why can't we have a rock move? Yeah, every rocks are inaccurate, man. You, like, Game Freak knows this truth. What is my cap for Byron? Let's switch up tracks while we're at it. To that one. Actually, that one. No, that one. Byron cap is 41. So 39. I think the game. I think game goes straight rival to gym leader. So I think 39 is safe. Slam at this level, man? Nah, we good. Okay, so I think Nicodemus is a pretty good answer to the Staraptor. Then, let's see. Floatzel, Heracross, Roserade. Okay. What deals with a Floatzel? A Floatzel with Aqua Jet, Pursue, Quick Attacks. Oh, those are not good moves. Okay, so Solomon deals with Floatzel, not a problem. Heracross and Roserade. Okay. What is the Heracross? Brick Break, Aerial Ace, Night Slash, Horn Attack.
Knight/Horn attack. So if I'm in Solomon, it's going to press Aerial Ace, and then Esau probably just outspeeds and takes with a fly. So we'll just get to level 39. Ooh. I hate TMs. I hate HMs so much. I'll never use defog again. Ah! What is the actual use case for Endeavor? Probably not. Do I need Aerial Ace, though? If I don't take Aerial Ace here, and we smash cut to me missing Fly and losing... Yeah, I do not care to run that route which had 4 or 5 mandatory trainers on it. I do not care to fight that with Fog. My goodness gracious. I understand. I'm gonna skip Aerial Ace here, and we will see God punish me for my hubris when I miss Fly and lose Esau to this Heracross. That's what's gonna happen. Okay, something to deal with the road. I think Shiba can deal with the... Those trainers are rough. I think Shiba and Esau can probably... Ooh, Earth Power. Hello. Can I see my stats? Well, it's better than Magnitude, and I have Earthquake in the bag if I need to override it. And then the Infernape. I think the Infernape... Okay, I think we're gonna switch for a... Oh, yeah, that's an Infernape answer if I've ever seen one. Welcome back. Welcome to the team, Joe. Man, I am spoiled for water types this run. But we'll grab our Steadfast Muck-Sitter Job here. That should be a good enough Infernape answer. And should also be a... Yep, awesome. Oh, I always love Swampert's little arm movement in this game. We no longer have Mark of the Beast rare candies, which is awesome. Alright. Muddy Water. 95.85. I mean, it's better than... Yeah, we'll take it over Water Gun. Tommy is shaking with the intensity of a college student who's been running solely in college for the past week and a half. I mean, Tommy is running on... What is Tommy? Tommy is running on excitement and chaos, which I think is a little more... Just a little more potent than coffee. Just a little bit. Nah. I'm not gonna use any of these TMs right now. Alright, let's do the heal. Does this Raptor have close combat? Am I... No, it doesn't. Thank goodness. Okay, let's put Nicodemus in front. Alright, we're doing this. Alright, Tommy.
Hey, whoops. Hey, Renai. You're going to challenge the gym leader up past here, huh? Someone should check to see if you're ready for this challenge. That someone is me, with my brand new gym badge.
Alright, bud. Let's dance. Oh, man, I love the rival in this game. We don't care about Intim and just press Rock Slide. Just don't do this to me, man. Okay, how much damage are we talking? Okay, we're gonna press Rock Tomb here. Takedown, miss, awesome. Love that for me. Fantastic. Okay, dealt with. Floatzel. This does not have an ice move, I'm pretty sure. Correct. Unlike Wakes, go into Solomon and sit on it. In fact... Yeah, let's set up a Reflect. And take it with a couple Magical Leaves. Actually, new plan. Oh! Switch AI! Okay, what button is this pressing into me? Aerial Ace. This doesn't have a bug move? No, it has Horn Attack. Horn Attack's not a bug move. This doesn't have a bug move. This is pressing Aerial Ace. Where's going Esau? Hard Esau. Or Brick Break. Oh! He saw the screens! That's nuts. Okay, risk crit there. Don't miss. Esau, just don't miss, man. Don't. Please don't miss, Esau. Okay, we're good. We're good. Alright, why do I have a... I guess I have a Shell Bell on Issa. Hey, not bad. Infernape. Okay, this wants to... Yeah, that is crazy, right, Pliver? That is not... I guess it knows. Okay, so we grabbed Job to sit on this, right? Brick Break. Okay. Okay. What other moves does this have? Flame Wheel, Knock Punch, Aerial Ace. That's the highest damage it's gonna get is a crit Brick Break. That did, what, 67? No, what am I talking about? 70... That did 73. So, unless he crits again, I'm safe. He's probably pressing Brick Break again. You know, we could just do this, probably. That's safe. My goodness, he did crit again! If he crits again, I die. Man! We're gonna run that risk. Okay, we're good. Infernape down. That was spooky. Float Soul back to Solomon to continue sitting on. Oh no! Ah! Wow, I was cooked regardless. No, you're fine, man. Like, it doesn't matter. That was killing. It was killing me there regardless. With burn, appreciated, but I was actually just pursuit trapped there. The cycle of revenge has ended. That's on me for not planning. Well, I should have planned more, but also I expected this Fossil to be dead by this point in the fight. So we'll take the loss. We'll chalk it up. We'll play this safe, because why not? Second turn of Reflect. What sits on this? What is this gonna press? You could drain Toxic Spike, Leech Seed, or Grass Whistle. It's probably gonna press Toxic Spike, right? Yeah. And then we're just gonna press Lava Plume. Goodbye. Oh, didn't kill. Well, actually it did. No, it didn't. I mean, I'm just gonna... Yeah, that's fine. Alright. Doomed.
What just happened? You're telling me I lost?
I am telling you lost, Tommy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're just a bit better than me as usual.
You killed one of my friends, Tommy.
But listen up!
Actually, Joab was taking revenge this entire time.
Let me tell you who's gonna take on the Pokemon League and become the champion. You guessed right. It's gonna be me. Anyway, you should go to Iron Island and toughen up some more. Yeah, train at Iron Island. That's what I did before going to the gym.
What if I didn't do that, though? What if I just took out the gym right now? Yeah, AI switches are, like... It's just not something I ever think about. Actually. I just... When I am planning, I forget that the AI can do that. Oh, Joab. Oh, I'm doing move items for some reason. Oh, Joab. Well, you were very useful when you were useful. Let's see. We're going to the Steel type gym. Is this the... What does Byron's team actually look like? Is there anything on this team to actually be worried about? Magneton, Steelix, Bastiodon. Magneton is a little frightening, but I think Shiva just blows it up. Hey, Frogmans! Welcome to the stream! How's it going, my man? You're joining just before our next gym fight against Byron in a Platinum Logos lock, which is like a Nuzlocke, but a little different. Happy New Year's to you as well. Thanks for swinging by. How's your New Year's? How was your holiday season in general? Do that, I think. Yes. Yeah. Let's just I haven't buzzed the rules on this real quick, so let's buzz the rules real quick. So this is if you're not familiar with the Nuzlocke, this will cover that as well. But the rules for this run of Pokemon Platinum is that only the first Pokemon encountered in a given route or area may be caught. If a Pokemon faints, it goes to Shale, the grave. It's in the grave for the remainder of the run. Unlike my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, I do not have the ability to resurrect Pokemon or people. To make this a little more challenging on me, because I am a decently okay Pokemon player, I cannot use any items in battle, no potions, no X items, none of that, and any Pokemon that reaches a level higher than the next gym leader's highest level Pokemon may not be used until that gym leader is defeated. This cap is currently 41 for the gym fight we're just about to go into. That's Leader Byron. And then all caught Pokemon must be given scriptural nicknames. And when we catch that Pokemon, we will actually go and pull up the relevant portion of scripture and give it a read-through. Yeah, so that's our rules. But yes, we are gearing up for a Byron battle right now. And I think I've got just the team to do it. It is awesome. I am the goal with my content as often as I can, which is hopefully always, is to in some way have it either facilitate heavy chat interaction, including playing games with folks, or to make sure that it is constantly bringing to mind scripture. That is always the goal. I don't want long stretches of stream where there is not some Bible on it. Plain and simple. All right, let's make our way through this gym here. I'm glad you like it. Right. My cap is 41. Okay, so now we get to play the game of, do I remember how to navigate this gym? Or is it just self-explanatory? Okay, so that did nothing. Maybe this one. This one goes down here. I'm gonna guess I have to go past this guy. An ace has the knowledge and experience of battling at high levels. I'll demonstrate what that means to a noob like you. Alright, bud. Alright, Caesar. Ooh, a scissor. Interesting. That's a lot of damage. I don't want to risk a crit here, so let's go Nicodemus. Yikes, that's a lot of damage. Does Herod take it any better? Alright, yep, there we go. And now we should just be able to take it out with a surf. Alright. Wow, I'm in the mood to sing a lullaby. Alright, Caesar, whatever you say, man. Where is my medicine? Oop. 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 Alright. And keep on keeping on. I said nothing about items outside of battle. Where does this go? Yep, okay. Okay. Is it this way? No, it's not this way. I do think it's this way, though. Pokemon and people have worked together for many years. Let us show you an example of that history. Sure, man. Worker Gerardo? Magnemite. Mudshot should take the trick cake here. Alright, and another Magnemite. Fantastic. And goodbye. Your electric steel types are no match for my water ground type. Do I go over? Yeah, I think it's over this way. Ayah! We're coming out swinging with super heavy judo chops! Black Belt David. Like that name, David. It's a good name. Muddy water. Unfortunately, Job is just kinda treading through the muck all over you, my friend. That was a complete thrashing! Thrashing? Probably thrashing. I can read. Boop. Down. Hello, lady. By focusing on only one type, you can really see the strength and weaknesses of that Pokemon. Yes, and I am here to exploit the weaknesses, to be very, very clear. Queen of Sheba. I think like every Bronzor in this game, as far as I'm aware, is Levitate and not Heat Proof. So we'll just do that, and we will keep burning our way through Bronzors. But yes, I asked you, Frogmans, how has your How was your holiday season? How was your holiday season? Or, alternatively, what are you looking forward to in the new year? I am looking forward to making my stream better. And I don't know exactly what shape that's like, but I'm going to have more time for them, and more time and more effort means, ideally, better content for everyone. I think the big things I'm looking at are interactables, for sure, in the coming year. I don't know. Dave, we'll start with some basics, and then we might get crazy. Honestly, nah. We'll stop moving the light screen. And I definitely want to make more long-form content going forward as well, which is not really a stream goal, but, you know. Job. Nicodemus. I don't know why I brought Nicodemus here, but I did. Ooh, Sucker Punch. I think we'll take that over Feint Attack. Absolutely. Get our team up to 41. No, stop learning Whirlpool. And, alright, we're all set with that. As is tradition, we are going to save our game. Saving a lot of data, apparently. We are going to mute our accidentally talked to him, so any prep I wanted to do, we're going to mute that. We are going to turn up the sound on my completely legal and physical Nintendo DS. We are going to put on my game face. And we are going to battle. Ah, that's Orberg's gym badge. I see. You've defeated my son. But that's no surprise. He still has much to learn. In place of my son Rourke, I, Byron, will take your challenge. All right, Byron. Holidays have been great. Have been great. Got to see a bunch of my family. Had fun with nephews and nieces. Got shot by my nephews in new Nerf minigun. And got to see my grandma on my adopted dad's side. That's awesome. I'm glad you got to hang out with your family over the holidays. That's always the goal. Always good. All right, Byron. I don't know why I pressed Lava Plume. Well, hopefully that doesn't cost me. Your Magneton is roasted, good sir. Yep. Okay. Cool. Super effective. I need to stop speeding up, because we're using normal DS sounds now. Steelix. This wants to Earthquake me. I think what we can do is go Esau to catch the Earthquake. It doesn't affect Esau. And then this is going to... Well, it's either going to press... It's probably going to press Ice Fang. Which Job can take just fine. Alrighty, sounds good. Honestly, just thanks for being here in the first place. It means a lot. There's the Ice Fang. We hope we don't freeze. We did not prepare for that contingency. Awesome. Then we just press Muddy Water. Probably just cooks the Steelix. Hopefully just cooks the Steelix. Yep. Alright, now this... This Bastiodon's a little spooky. Oh, what's this? My last one! This is where we make our stand! So this wants to Metal Burst me, I think. And... I don't know if I have a good plan for that, honestly. Yeah. I'm glad you find it fun to watch. I find it fun to do. You know what? Okay, I think we go Solomon. Press Magical Leaf. That's fine. That's actually exactly what we want to see. Press Magical Leaf again. That's perfectly okay. There's no way that was enough damage to take out Solomon. Fantastic. And now that we've weakened it a bit, and I can be pretty certain that an Earth Power is just gonna take, we'll go Queen of Sheba. Metal Burst fails, and we'll hit it with a 4x super effective Earth Power, and that should seal the deal. Goodbye, Bastiodon, and hello. I don't actually remember what this gym's badge is called. Oh no. I'm losing in my old age. My sturdy Pokemon defeated! You are strong enough to take down my prize team of Pokemon. In recognition of that power, I give you this, the Mind Badge. Okay, so it's called the Mind Badge. Rainai received the Mind Badge from Piper. Having the Mind Badge enables you to use the hidden move Strength anytime outside of battle. And now you have 6 gym badges. That means all Pokemon up to level 70 will obey you without question. Here, take this too. Is that Flash Cannon? I think that's Flash Cannon. Alright, bye Frogmans. That TM91 contains the move Flash Cannon. If it hits, it may also lower the target's special defense. Awesome. Thanks, Byron. Thanks for the badge. Why does Byron give the Mind Badge? His son should give the Mind Badge. Right? Oh, that reminds me. Okay, sorry. Back to this. Turn our sound back down. Oop. Turn our... Oh, our death count is up by 1. Turn our... Let's actually go back to our channel theme. Fantastic. Oh, and it's muted. Let's unmute it. Then I wanted to... let's get my normal face back on. Then let's do... I wanted to look at my badges, because this game lets you polish your badges. And I gotta have those sparkly clean badges, gang. One more! More! It can sparkle more! There we go. Am I gonna do this for every badge? What do you think? The answer may surprise you. I remember this used to be... It used to bother me so much as a child when a badge was not polished that I'd go in and just... Oh man, you know what? This is not good television. This is not good television at all. What do you think, chat? Should I keep polishing my badges or should I get on with it? Until somebody says something, I'm going to keep polishing my badges, because it bothers me now that I've opened the badge case up. They gotta sparkle. They gotta sparkle. They just gotta sparkle. Only 2 badges left. Is it... It's Candace and then Volkner. Yeah, okay. Actually, I'm making faster progress through this game than I thought I would be. But I am losing... I have lost quite a good many friends. Definitely more than I should have. Alright. Badge is polished. It'll just get dirty again, though, so I don't see what the actual point is. Alright, let's go catch a friend.
Hey, that's the Mind Badge. Good going. You're tough to even consider becoming the Pokemon champ. Of course, I'm tougher, so it's not going to actually happen. Anyway, Renai, come with me to the library.
No. I'm going to Iron Island. You want to set sail? Yeah, I do, man. I should probably heal. Nah, I can just use items. Ooh, the drawbridge. Bag. Restore. Oop. This is good enough healing. Oh, did I not level Solomon to 40 before that fight? Weird. Is there a... I feel like this house has a metal coat in it. Am I crazy? Maybe I'm crazy. Definitely crazy. Okay. I feel like there's a metal coat around here somewhere. Maybe I'm just losing it. Hi, Riley. Oh, okay, you're Renai. I'm Riley. I'm a trainer, and yes, it is a bit odd that I would be training here. Anyway, it's always nice to meet another trainer. Here's a gift. Hey, that's strength. Thanks, Riley. Renai put the HMO4 in the team's HMO. That hidden machine contains the move strength. To use it outside of battle, you need to have the badge from Canalay Gym. Oh, never mind. You've already got the Mind Badge. My bad. I'll be training inside. You can join me if you'd like. I used to think Riley was so cool. I still think Riley's pretty cool. We're gonna catch a new friend. We're gonna catch a new friend. Who are we gonna catch? Yellow Shard. Okay, I have to fight that trainer for this item, and you know what, that's... Oh good, a Loudred. I love this line of Pokemon. Yeah, okay. You know what? Never look a Giftmon in the mouth. Well, it's not a Giftmon. It's just our new friend. Heck. Alright. Go to the bag. Huck an Ultra Ball and... 1, 2, Skittle-Little, 2. Fantastic. Loudred was caught. Alright, gang, be thinking on a name. I've got one in mind already. Loudred's data was added to the Pokedex. The shockwaves from its cries can tip over trucks. It stamps its feet to power up. Okay, I mean, I've got a humdinger, but if chat has any suggestions, speak now or forever hold your peace, because I think I know exactly what I am going to call this Loudred, unless someone would prefer I call it something else. Him something else. 6, 1 through 5. Alrighty. No suggestions mean we're going with Streamer's Choice. Let's hop over to our naming display. Let's give our Loudred a name. We are in Joshua 6, verses 15 through 21. This is the word of the Lord. Then on the 7th day they rose early at the dawning of the day and marched around the city in the same manner 7 times. Only on that day they marched around the city 7 times. At the 7th time, when the priests blew the trumpets, Joshua said to the people, "Shout, for the Lord has given you the city. The city shall be under a ban, and all that is in it belongs to the Lord. Only Rahab the harlot and all who are with her in her house shall live, because she hid the messengers whom we sent. But as for you, only keep yourselves from the things under the ban, so that you do not covet them and take some of the things under the ban, and make the camp of Israel accursed and bring trouble on it. But all the silver and gold and articles of bronze and iron are holy to the Lord. They shall go into the treasury of the Lord." So the people shouted, and the priests blew the trumpets, and when the people heard the sound of the trumpet, the people shouted with a great shout, and the wall fell down flat. So the people went up into the city, every man straight ahead, and they took the city. They utterly destroyed everything in the city, both man and woman, young and old, and ox and sheep and donkey, with the edge of the sword. So, for our shouting Loudred that can flip over trucks, I can think of no more apt a moniker than Joshua. If we can flip over a truck, I added a space. If we can flip over a truck, we can collapse a city wall. That's my thought process. Where's the U? Joshua. Alrighty. And do I want to keep hanging around Iron Island? I know there's like half-decent items in here, but maybe I just come back if I need them. I'm gonna get this item, though. That's a Screech. And that's a Float Soul. I don't care if you Pursuit, I am getting the heck out of here. Yeah, that would have hurt. There we go. I should have just stuck to camping out here. Where's my bag? Heal up. Heal up. Keep on keeping on. It's just Loudred's down here, apparently. What is this? Protector. Useless. Fantastic. Alright. Let's get out of here. We got our encounter. I could do the whole Riley, like, quest line and get an egg. I don't feel like doing that right now. So I won't. I'm calling the shots. Sailor Eldritch. Oh, sorry. My goodness gracious. I need to get better about that. Sailor Eldritch's house. That's an interesting name for a sailor. Hey, I'll be right with you, Tommy. I just want to switch my team up a little bit, I think. I think I want Peter back with the gang. Swap. We'll swap Heretigrippa for him, actually. Anybody in here feel like they would be... Nah, I think we're good. We got a team. Let's throw a couple levels on Peter. 40. Everyone else is at 41. Why not Peter and Solomon? Blaze kick! That's some coverage, baby! We love that. And we get rid of focus energy. Awesome. Alright, and then Solomon, 41. Fantastic. Alright. And it's library time.
Too slow! Come on, let's move it!
Alright. Hello, this is the Canalave Library. Please keep quiet while you're on the premises. Oh, you should not have let my friend in here.
What is it? Please don't disturb me when I'm reading.
Okay, lady, geesh. Sorry. Sorry for trying to strike up conversation. The books on the third floor are easy to read. The ones down here are all too tough for me to understand. Well, maybe you should go up to the third floor then, kid. Please refrain from bringing food or beverages in the library. So realistic.
Hey, Renai, over here, this way! Okay, Gramps, I brought Renai like I said. Alright, I'll be out of here. Okay, I get it.
Everyone's here finally. Renai, everyone, listen. You may have forgotten already, but I studied the evolution of Pokemon. But the more I study, the more mysteries appear and multiply. Pokemon that evolve and those that don't. What makes them different from each other? Do those that are immature as living beings? Do those that are immature as living beings evolve to once more mature? If so, what do we make of the legendary Pokemon that don't evolve? Oh, quite a mystery, I say. Are we to assume that the legendary Pokemon are complete as creatures? This is where you three come in. In the 3 lakes of Sinnoh, there are said to be Mirage Pokemon. If we can obtain data on them, it may shed some light on how the process of Pokemon evolution works. I need help from each one of you on this grand undertaking. Help me find these 3 Pokemon that are considered to be Mirages.
What are you saying? I didn't get a Pokedex.
And who was it that I bolted from the lab before I had a chance to give you a Pokedex? But that's water under the bridge. Seeing Pokemon with your own eyes is important for you to becoming a better trainer, too.
You can count on me. I will help with my Pokedex, too.
Renai,
you'll go too, won't you?
I would have made all of you go regardless. Anyway, now there are 3 lakes. Fortuitously, there are 3 of you. You should therefore split up and investigate the lakes individually. Dawn, you go to Lake Verity.
Will do.
Tommy, I want you to investigate Lake Acuity. That would take you almost to Snow Point City. The road there is harsh. I need a tough trainer to go.
Yeah, of course. Gramps, you know how to call it. You can tell I'm the hotness. And you know what? I was gonna catch those legendary Pokemon for you. You know, as thanks for giving us our Pokemon back on Route 201. Even though I completely forgot about it until just now.
Very well, I'm counting on you. And that leaves Renai with Lake Valor. That lake is between Veilstone and Pastoria, if memory serves. Boom! Has it stopped? Are all of you unharmed?
What was that about? No, wait, I mean, the TV, news, anything. Turn on the TV, it doesn't matter what channel.
What you've just witnessed is actual footage from the scene. It was taken by a cameraman who happened to be there. It's certainly impressive. Who knows what explosion could expose the lake?
Gramps, they said it was an explosion?
But why Lake Valor? Let's get outside. I'm concerned about the town. You kids, be careful going down the stairs. Renai, you should leave now too. There may be aftershocks, however. Be alert always. Well, thanks, prof.
Was that an earthquake? I didn't imagine it. I'm feeling wobbly. Even though the tremor is ended, my knees still feel like jelly. That tremor, it was wicked. I scrambled to find the book Disaster Strike Survival Guide.
You nerd.
I've been asking people not to disturb me while I'm reading. I shouldn't even have bothered. I'm all agitated now. Hello, this is the Canalave Library. Please keep quiet while you're on the premises. It certainly wasn't me who screamed, "Yeah!" or shouted, "Help me!" No, really, that wasn't me screaming.
Man, the dialogue in these games. That tremor, that wasn't a natural occurrence. Hey, old dude and kids, did you hear? They're saying there was a huge explosion at Lake Valor. But I hear everything's fine now. I guess it was just a lot of noise.
And an explosion. Gramps! I'm going! I have a bad feeling about this.
That Tommy can't sit still. Don't I know it, Rowan. Renai, I don't like to demand, but I need you at Lake Valor. It's impossible for things to be okay, not after an explosion like that. But I have no idea what is taking place. But before you go, let me stress, don't get in over your head. We'll try to join you as soon as we inspect Lake Verity.
Renai, you'll be okay no matter what, right?
Yes. I will be okay no matter what. Maybe not in the way you're thinking, Dawn, but yes. What is my next level cap? What is... I know there's a lot of game between me and Candace, but Out of curiosity, what is her highest level Pokemon? 44. Okay, not that much game. Okay, we are not putting any levels on anybody. We are going straight to this lake. Wow, that is a lot of... I guess I just have to be very diligent about dodging trainers. Fly. Valor is there. Let's go Pastoria. Where is the move deleter in this game? Because I have passed the one route I need defog for. Sinnoh. Cantilever. Oh, actually, fantastic. Molto bene, as they say in Italy. Also, there was a rod in Hearthhome. Let's go pick that up. Oh, hey, baby. Wait, do I not? Yo, I don't think I have a Hearthhome City Pokemon yet. I think I just... There's a free Pokemon right there that I totally missed. Okay. Nope. Okay. Nope. And check the party real quick. I think we are... I need to get... I need to actually have made a spreadsheet for this, like, a while ago. Cool. Alright, so that's a free... Welcome back, Frogmans! What you missed is that there was a giant explosion, and I'm going to the lake to find out what the heck's going on. But first, I'm gonna get a gift Pokemon here, and though the game says it's an EV, it's not, because, this game is... I have randomized. So how about it? Do you want that Pokemon Eevee? Here you go. That Eevee, I got it from a good friend in Johto, has a whole lot of them. Who knows how many Eevees he's raised over the years? Sorry, that doesn't mean anything to you. Please, be good to it. Renai accepted the Eevee. Would you like to give a nickname to the Eevee that baby gave you? It's a Doduo. We need a scriptural name for a Doduo. Oh boy. Let's read the Pokedex entry for inspiration. Where's the Pokedex? Where is the Pokedex? There we go. The Pokedex says, the brains in its two heads appear to communicate emotions to each other with a telepathic power. Okay, that's not super helpful. Okay, so we need a scriptural nickname for a Doduo. Interesting. Let's see. Male. Two heads. Two heads. We can think of something, right? We can think of something, gang. We can put our heads together like this Doduo puts its heads together. Is there anything in scripture described with two heads? Maybe two names. Or... I'm liking or... Yeah, we only have... I like two names. We only have 10 characters, so we'll probably have to abbreviate if we are going with two names. But I'm not opposed to that. Also, it's going to have 3 heads eventually. And we're not going to use the common... We're not going to use the common... Forgot what you were going to say. You know what? Actually, I got it. Yeah, let's do that. All right. We'll pop on over to our naming display here. We are in Genesis 48:17. right. Then we'll switch over to our naming display. All right. We are in Genesis 48:8. This is after Jacob has been reunited with Joseph in Egypt. Joseph is presenting his two sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, to his father for the blessings. For his blessings before Israel, Jacob, dies. This is the word of the Lord. But Israel stretched out his right hand and laid on the head of Ephraim, who was the younger, and his left hand on Manasseh's head, crossing his hands, although Manasseh was the firstborn. He blessed Joseph and said, "The God before whom my fathers Abraham and Isaac walked, the God who has been my shepherd all my life to this day, the angel who has redeemed me from all evil, bless the lads, and may my name live on in them, and the names of my fathers of Abraham and Isaac, and may they grow in a multitude in the midst of the earth." When Joseph saw that his father had laid his right hand at Ephraim's head, it displeased him, and he grasped his father's hand to remove it from Ephraim's head to Manasseh's head. Joseph said to his father, "Not so, my father, for this one is the firstborn. Place your right hand on his head." But his father refused and said, "I know, my son, I know. He also will become a people, and he also will be great. However, his younger brother shall be greater than he, and his descendants shall become a multitude of nations." He blessed them that day, saying, "By you Israel will pronounce blessing, saying, May God make you like Ephraim and Manasseh." Then he put Ephraim before Manasseh. Then Israel said to Joseph, "Behold, I am about to die, but God will be with you, and bring you back to the land of your fathers. I give you one portion more than your brothers, which I took from the hand of the Amorite with my sword and my bow." So, the fun thing about the 12 tribes of Israel is that as we are going through, we remove the inheritance of the 12 tribes of Israel. We remove the Levites from that, which leaves us with 11 tribes of Israel. But then, what we get is 2 half-tribes in Ephraim and Manasseh, who are blessed here. And Ephraim and Manasseh come to represent Joseph. They are the tribe of Joseph. So this Doduo, which will eventually become a Dodrio, we are gonna name, and we gotta get real creative here. We're gonna go Joe, and then EPH, or maybe just, EPH, Ephraim, and then MAN. And if that's not decipherable, too bad. We're going with it. Alrighty, so that's that. That is one of the wonkier names that I think I will ever do, but that's the one we're gonna do, because why not? Alrighty, moving right along. There's a fishing rod somewhere in this city. Do you have a fishing rod? Nope. Thank you, Joe F. Man. Joe Fman. Joseph, Ephraim, and Manasseh. We'll say the whole thing every time. That's the commitment. It may look undecipherable, and it is undecipherable, but don't worry about that. Where is that fishing rod? I don't think it's in church. Oh, is he in one of the, route boundaries, maybe? Right... No. Here? No. Maybe over here? No? Alright. I gotta Google this, because I want this. I came to the city to get the freaking fishing rod, and yes, I picked up a new Pokemon as well, but... Good run her. Where is this? 209. Route 209. Okay, so 209 is which route again? 208, 209. Okay, just right off to the right here. Where is the fisherman? There should be a fisherman. Sir, you don't want this. Sir, this is not good for you. I promise, you are not going to have a grand old time. Not in any way, shape, or form. I'm going to press one button, and you're not going to have any Pokemon left. And that makes me a little sad for you, but that's just the way it's going to be, my man. I'm just going to keep pressing Lava Plume. It's a really good button. It's a really good button. Actually, I'm going to press Earth Power on this one, because why not? It's a good button, too. And goodbye, Pichu. It was nice knowing you. No worries, man. Pop in and out as often as you like. Do you have the fishing rod? A good rod is really good. Wouldn't you agree? Huh, we're of identical minds. Take this good rod. Awesome. Oh, incidentally, I do not need you to explain to me. Okay. Pokemon, and then we are headed towards... Actually, I don't think I've been to the Pokemon Mansion yet. I should go to the Pokemon Mansion. Do you have a catch on Route 212? Okay, Baby's PC, move Pokemon, let's grab Peter back. Swap him for Joseph, Ephraim, and Manessa. Let's just evolve this guy right now, so any future confusion is just a little less confusing. This guy evolves at like 30-something? It would be really funny if it was 33, actually. That'd be all kinds of hilarious. No. Stop learning Uproar. I don't care what you know. Uproar is not a move I want you to learn. 7... 28. Acupressure. Now that's a fun move. I don't think it's a good move, but it's a fun move. 29. 30. Hello, hello, Jose. How are you doing? Welcome to stream. Alright, we've evolved Joseph, Ephraim, and Manessa into Dodrio, just to leave us a little... How were your holidays, friend? How was your New Year's Day? Or if you don't wish to speak on that, what are you looking forward to in this new year? Alright, so we are gonna go... Doing great? Yeah, I'm doing very well. I had a fantastic New Year's Eve celebration with some friends. Ran through a very fun anime called Planet With, which I had only kind of seen before, and man, that show is way better than I remembered it being. Yeah, but holidays are doing good. Looking forward to getting lots of 8 hours sleep. Now, man, that is a goal. 8 hours sleep is good. What's even better than 8 hours sleep, my friend, is consistent 8 hours sleep at the same time. That would be what I would be aiming for if I were you. Get that circadian rhythm mastered. Alright, I don't have a 212 friend, so let's go that way. But yeah, no, that's a good thing to look forward to. My gracious. If that's something you can achieve, achieve it. I did have a good time. I had quite the good time. Pineapple berry. Pineapple berry. Am I sure I didn't have a 212 guy? Oh, no, I'm paranoid. Petra berry. No, I don't think I have. Alright. Alright, new friend. I get toxic here. Okay, that's important to know. Ooh, Venomoth. I haven't already. Alright. I think I can just... Actually, let's be smart about this. Go there. I think I can just... Southwest of it? Yeah, I think I literally saw the Pokeball. The synapses are firing. That should just catch, right? No? Okay. It's gonna be a pain. But this one it'll just catch this time, right? Start thinking on names for this, by the way, gang. 2. Skittle do. Fantastic. Venomoth was caught. And Venomoth is gonna need a name. And nothing is immediately jumping to mind because we have caught a lot of women this run, and there are a lot of named women I have not exhausted in scripture yet. It fluttered its wing to scatter dust like scales. The scales leech contact if they toxins if they contact skin. Are there any leprous women in the Bible? Or like diseased women? That are named. Specifically that are named, because we definitely want to give it a name. I'm looking forward to improving my streaming skills and improving my streaming experience for audience more than anything else. I'm 2025. I want 2025 to be the year that I want 2025 to be the year that I became Renai, and 2026 to be the year I really stepped into streaming, if that makes sense. Because I've only been streaming for at this point, November, December, 2 months. So, yeah. That's what I'm looking forward to just here. I want to get some interactables for chat, some basic interactables, and then build that up. I want to make some... I think my big idea is make some actual good long-term content. Flutters its wings to scatter dust like scales. The scales leech contact toxins if they contact skin. Let's see. Who can we pull? Yeah, I mean, all in is maybe a little rough, but yeah, it's something I want to. This is Reinai is, as I kind of said on debut, is where I look to aim the majority of my free time. Let's see. We've done. You know what? That's pretty good. And I think she caused a fight too. First Chronicles. They're not all gonna be humdingers, and we're gonna learn about more. We're gonna learn about more characters of the Bible. My goodness gracious. She's gonna have one verse, I think. Yep, she's just in a genealogy, but we're doing it. Why not? Why not? Why not? Why not? Okay, so she is... Yep, one-liner. Fantastic. Sometimes... So, I am going to want to go... Whenever a woman is named in a genealogy, though, it's important. And I'm wondering why. Well, we'll do some study on that in our own time. Okay, over to our naming display. We're in First Chronicles 2:46. All right, back over to our naming display. Sometimes you just pull a name to pull a name. They can't all be winners, unfortunately. All right. So, this is the word of the Lord. Now the sons of Caleb, the brother of Jehamiel, were Mesha his firstborn, who was the father of Ziph, and his son Marisha, father of Hebron. The sons of Hebron were Koha and Tupah and Rechem and Shema. Shema became the father of Raham, the father of Jorakim, and Rehem became the father of Shammai. The son of Shammai was Maon, and Maon was the father of Bethser. Apha, Caleb's concubine, bore Haran, Moza, and Gazez, and Haran became the father of Gazez. So, again, as we are going through biblical genealogies, we are almost always tracking patrilineally. So whenever a woman is listed in genealogy, there is something more there. And she's a descendant of Judah. And if she's a descendant of Judah, that means she's likely important for the genealogy of Christ. Okay, so that is the name that we are going to give to this Venomoth, because she very well may be throwaway, or she could be surprisingly important. And she was sent to Sheol. Whoops, I think that's toxic right there. Let's throw that there. And let's switch back to our gaming display. Gotta remember to do that. I'm just gonna walk around this guy, I think. Ooh, a love disc. Alright, what do we got? TM06 Toxic, fantastic. I think we're gonna keep going up this way to the mansion. I hate the mud. I hate the mud. The mud is my least favorite thing about Generation 4. Changed my mind. And an elixir, fantastic. Yeah, I think we're going to head to the mansion, which should get us... Please let me out of the mud. Please let me out of the mud. Please let me out of the mud. Oh, hello, lady. There are Pokemon that grow stronger when it's raining. Really? That's good to know. Is Goldeen one of those Pokemon? Or is Goldeen to fold to one magical leaf regardless of whether or not it's raining? Because it kind of seems like it folds to one magical leaf regardless of whether or not it's raining. A love disc on land. Yeah, there's not a lot of... When you shuffle up the encounters... Frogmans, it turns out that not everything makes sense. Alright. Okay, I don't want to fight you, so look the other way. Haha, dork. Oh no, now I have to go this way. I don't want to fight you, so look the other way. Please? Please, look the other way. Please, thank you. Goodbye. Alright. This route is weird. I've decided this route is weird. Sir, I am but a child. I'm not committing any crimes. I promise. What do you mean still tolerate this song, man? It's a bop, and it's literally designed to loop, and guess what? I'm leaving it on loop. Why would I not tolerate this song? Also, I haven't really figured out what I'm doing for music, so I just have 4 or 5 little songs on my, in a folder on my desktop that I play on Windows Media Player, to make sure I'm not running afoul of any copyright stuff yet. That's another thing. I will be figuring out stream music at some point this year, but, this is the thing I go to the most often. Because it's my favorite of them. But, you know what? Soon, at some point, I'm going to have even more than just this song that are going to be go-tos and favorites. And I'm looking forward to that. Okay. We learned our lesson back in the forest to not do any double battles. Hey, trainer, are you any good at battling in Mother Nature? I don't know, Jeffrey. Am I? We're gonna switch to Esau. Catch a flame. Hey, dude, flame wheel in the. At this point, I've probably listened to this track more than you, because this is on for the majority of most of my streams. Alright, run. Protect the natural environment. That's what we rangers do. Oh man. I kind of want to play Pokemon Ranger, but I don't think that's a great stream game, because that's a break my hand kind of game. Alright, fine, we're not doing this. We're not doing this, I'll tell you what. I like this song a lot, Jose. Believe it or not, I like this song a lot. Come and play, Imago Day. What do we got? Elixir. Neat. Kabuto. Like the ninja from Naruto. Alright, I want to get into this mansion. Yeah, why don't... I need to figure out getting YouTube emotes working in the YouTube chat. There's got to be a setting or something somewhere. This is the way up to the trophy garden. The garden is open for all visitors. However, please will, wild Pokemon may appear in the garden. That's what I'm here for, lady. My next pocket monster. I think they're very low level out here, if I'm recalling correctly. That's an Azumarill. That's pretty good. Well, maybe. Get in the ball. Start thinking on names for this. Nope. Bubble Beam. Okay, we can sit on that all day. Get in the ball, please. 1, 2. Let's get a little... Oh, come on. Alright, let's try it again. Get in the... You know what? Maybe... Yeah, fine. We'll put ourselves on a clock. A 16-turn clock. Get in the ball. 1, 2, skittle-diddle-doo. Oh, come on! Oh, it's pressing rollout. Okay, just be aware of that. 1, 2, skittle-diddle-doo. Fantastic. Azumarill was caught. Azumarill's data was added to the Pokedex. It can spend all day in water, since it can inhale and store a large volume of air. Inhale and store a large volume of air. Let me think. Suggestions, by the way. Any women in scripture that folks would like to see represented with a name here? Ooh. All right, I got an angle. I got an angle. If no one else does, I've got one. Yeah, that's kind of fun. A little stupid, but it's kind of fun. What verse is that? Okay. I was a streamer. Your background music would either be Cage's 433 on repeat or Satier's Vexations in a single time. If I know, I know. I don't know, but if a composer thought to name their piece Vexations, I can only guess. Alright, yes, so this is Azumarill. Our Pokedex entry states that Azumarill can spend all day in the water because it can hold its breath for a very long time, which one might also say is not saying something that might need to be said. So, we'll switch on over to our naming display. We'll give this Azumarill a nickname. This is the word of the Lord. But a man named Ananias, with his wife Sapphira, sold a piece of property, and he kept some of the price back for himself, with his wife's full knowledge, and bringing a portion of it, he laid it at the apostles' feet. But Peter said, Ananias, why has Satan filled your heart to lie to the Holy Spirit, and to keep some of the price of the land? Well, it remained unsold, did it not remain your own? And after it was sold, was it not under your control? Why is it that you have conceived this deed in your heart? You have not lied to men, but to God. And as he heard these words, Ananias fell down and breathed his last, and a great fear came over all who heard of it. The young men got up and covered him up, and after carrying him out, they buried him. Now there elapsed an interval about 3 hours, and his wife came in, not knowing what has happened. And Peter responded to her, Tell me whether you sold the land for such and such a price. And she said, Yes, that was the price. Then Peter said to her, Why is it that you have agreed to put the Spirit of the Lord to the test? Behold, the feet of those who have buried your husband are at the door, and they will carry you out as well. And immediately she fell at his feet and breathed her last. And the young men came in and found her dead. And they carried her out and buried her beside her husband. And a great fear came over the whole church, and all who heard of these things. So, to this Azumarill that holds its breath until it can, and does not speak until it can hold its breath or speech no longer, we will give the name, also because sapphires are blue, is the other thing that immediately jumped out. We will give the name Sapphira. And that went, she went straight to Sheol. That's, you can't make that up. I gotta set my default box. That's really funny. We're gonna fly to Canalave because I believe that's where the move deleter is, and I want to take care of. I want to get defog off Esau as soon as humanly possible. No. Are you the move deleter? Yes. Who did you say I was again? Ah, yes, I remember now. I'm the move deleter. You came to make me force your Pokemon to forget some moves. I don't like your verbiage there. Which Pokemon should forget a move? We're gonna have Esau forget the absolute useless travesty that is Defog. The move Defog? Should that move be forgotten? It worked perfectly. Your Pokemon has forgotten the move Defog completely. Alright, let's organize our friends in the box here. We are gonna move Ifa and Sapphira out of Sheol. They may come here eventually, but not yet. Then we were gonna let's teach Esau something better. Hopefully. Let's see. He can't learn strength, right? That would be silly. Yeah, I didn't think so. I don't know if I want to... Steel... You know what? I will put Steel Wing on Esau. That feels... Yes. That's coverage. Alright. We are just about coming up on time here, so why don't we just prepare ourselves for that next story event and sign off for the evening. Alright, so that next story event is Valor Lakefront, so Pastoria is the correct destination to fly to. Heal up. And head over to the lake where Team Galactic detonated a bomb. Whoops. Somebody probably should have stopped them from doing that. But I was at the library getting a new Pokedex. And isn't that more important? Didn't mean to go in there. Oh, that's like the cafe, right? Man, there's so much personality and charm in this game that I'm just not interacting with because I'm playing through it on stream. You know, we can take care of a couple Galactic grunts real quick. Let's do that. Actually, I don't think I have to fight this guy. Yeah. And I don't think I have to fight this gal either if I'm fast enough. The poor Magikarp. A Magikarp is weakly flopping about. Yeah, they do that. Look away. Look away, look away, look away, look away, look away, look away, look away. Ha! No! Would you like to join the Magikarp and flop around in the mud? Not really. Cute. Ooh, that's some damage. Overwhelming! Every Galactic grunt sounds somewhere between Kermit the Frog and I don't even know what, man. Like, you know what? I think we can fight whatever Galactic admin is here, and do I need to be worried about them? No, thank you. Getting muddy doesn't sound fun. No, yeah, getting muddy does not, in fact, sound fun. It's fun that it's actually kind of funny that I've got Job using muddy water with the Magikarp flopping about. Okay, why don't you look back up that way again, sir? 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 Yes, awesome. Right, and then we'll just go around. That is a lot of Magikarp. I mean, there was a lake here, and then it was exploded by a bomb. So I would kind of expect there to be a lot of Magikarp. Okay, this is Charon, right? Does Charon have a battle here? Charon does not have a battle here. Okay. Or is this Saturn? This is Saturn. Saturn has a Golbat, a Bronzor, and a Toxicroak. I'm not worried. Okay, alright, Saturn. The mission is proceeding without a hitch. The boss should be pleased. Everything is for everyone, and for the good of Team Galactic. I recognize your face. You're the child who raided the Team Galactic building in Eterna. Jupiter should be ashamed of herself being beaten by a child. But anything and anyone that opposes Team Galactic must be crushed. Even the very thought of opposition will not be tolerated. Alright, Saturn. Well, I'm going to give you a little more than the thought of opposition. I'm just going to give you some straight-up opposition, man. Please, Nicodemus. I know it is confusing to hear that you must be born again. I get it. Thank you for seeing through it and understanding it, teacher of the law that you are. Fantastic. Bronzor, let's go to Queen of Sheba. Great Iron Defense. Fantastic move there, Saturn. Really got you the equity you needed there. I think I can just press Earth Power. Alright. Gotta be careful because Candace's cap is 44, right? $44, yes. Yeah, even I, a commander, only managed to buy us time. But that's fine. A child like you will never be able to stem the flow of time. Sorry? I'm sorry? Team Galactic will get the 3 legendary Pokemon of the lakes. With their power, we will create an entirely new universe. By now, Mars should have captured the Pokemon of Lake Verity. Whoops. Let's save that game. If anybody's got any prayer requests they'd like to put up, we're going to hop on over to Just Chatting, and we're going to be closing out the stream here. It is that time of the night, but thanks to everyone who stopped by. The study in Ecclesiastes. I don't want to spoil it, but I found a thing at the end of Ecclesiastes which made me ask a question, and that question led me to love Ecclesiastes even more, because I think Ecclesiastes, the entire book, might just be one big rhetorical device, and that was fun to go through. But again, just the takeaways we got from Ecclesiastes today, the seeing the arc of Solomon's journey to find wisdom, to find purpose, to find meaning. Not just today, but through the, you do need to go back and listen to that. I did get a little scatterbrained. I might, or a little tech scattered. I might do my own study and try and make a little more cohesive of a video, but that's probably in a couple weeks thing and not an immediately coming up here thing, because I'm still putting together for that eschatology presentation for Saturday. But yeah, going through Ecclesiastes, getting through all 12 books, fantastic. Loved it. Love Ecclesiastes. Love it even more after what I came to during today's study. But yeah, any prayer requests from anybody? We had a rip-roaring good time on Pokemon 2. Picked up another badge. 2 to go. The plot is thickening. The Team Galactic seems to be rapidly advancing their plans, and they're battling on about creating a new universe. What's all about that? But yeah, to everyone here, if you don't have, regardless of whether you've got prayer requests or not, thank you for stopping by. It's always fantastic to just be hanging out with y'all, going through God's Word, going through Pokemon with a heavy shot of God's Word. It is a blessing to be able to do what I do here and to make and be with friends on the internet. Alrighty, so I'm gonna kick us off into prayer here. I'll cheat and have my eyes open in prayer in case any requests come in as I am praying, and after that, we will be calling it a night. So if you'll bow your heads with me. Heavenly Father, as always, thank you for this time, these couple hours to come together, to go through your word, to play some games, to just have some fun, be connected, and be digging through the wisdom, the instruction manual for life that you have put before us. Lord, as we went through the preacher's wisdom today, as we came to his understanding of meaning, that meaning is found in serving you, in understanding you, in pulling out the information, the wisdom, the collection of understanding that comes from the one shepherd, you and your son, Jesus Christ, who, despite being different persons, are one being. And Lord, it is just so wonderful to be able to come to that realization. Lord, for all those in chat who are here on this first day of this new year, I pray a blessing and a benediction as they go throughout their day, go throughout their week, their months, their years, Lord. May you order our paths. May we come to a deeper understanding of you and what you have put us at this specific time and in our specific places to do, Lord. Because there is no coincidence, there are no accidents, and every last one of us is important, last one of us has a purpose, and every last one of us can receive your blessing just by turning to you and coming to understand you, Lord. And I pray these things through your Holy Spirit within me, imputed there in righteousness by the death and resurrection of your Son, Jesus Christ. In whose mighty name I commend these prayers to you, the Father, such that if they are your will, they be done. Amen. All right, gang. Once again, thanks for stopping by. It was fantastic hanging out with you. I will catch you next on Saturday. We're going to be digging through my views on eschatology. There's going to be, let's be real, a lot of couching, because I'm realizing I'm not settled on a lot of things I thought I was settled on. But we'll just generally be talking about eschatology, and I'll sprinkle in my opinions where I have them solidly set down. So, alrighty, gang. Just kind of looping through here. Let's just do the sign-off. Until next time, this has been Rainai Paragonic, and I'm wishing you all a Paragonic Renaissance. Have a blessed night, gang.